We begin with a focus on skills development and empowerment. The CVL Employment Trust Fund recently held an event showcasing its commitment to equipping individuals with valuable skills. The event featured training classes in 3 key areas: electrical installation, digital marketing, and catering. A notable aspect of the electrical installation class was the presence of a determined young woman demonstrating a passion for breaking gender stereotypes in traditionally male-dominated fields. Our news team spoke with several students who shared powerful testimonies about how this initiative is transforming their lives and creating new opportunities.
What I want to say to LSCTF, CVL and KTI is that you have really done well. Thank you for bringing up this opportunity for youths that are not empowered. We thank you and we hope that you will continue to do this great job for more of our youths out there.
So far in the journey, I've really learned a lot, starting from learning about the SEO, moving to email marketing, down to content marketing.
And so far here in CVL, LSCTF and KTI, they have impacted me with soft skill and hard skill. And also I have learned a lot of things that I did not even think I was ever going to learn.
I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to King's Trust International. I want to say thank you to Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. I want to say thank you to Center for Value in Leadership. And I want to use this opportunity to say to every young mind out there, this is the program you need to step up and become who you want to become.
In the realm of leadership, the CEO Summit 2025 took center stage. The 2-day summit themed Future Ready Leadership provided a platform for critical discussions on navigating the complexities of modern leadership. The summit commenced with a virtual session on Wednesday, April 2nd, featuring renowned thought leader like Professor Pat Utomi, who offered valuable insights into the qualities and strategies essential for effective leadership in the years to come. The in-person session on April 3rd, held at the 4 Points by Sheraton, Victoria Island, Lagos, featured prominent speakers who addressed key aspects of leadership. Mr. Rume Daniels delivered an impactful presentation on the CEO as a catalyst for societal and organizational growth, emphasizing the crucial role of business leaders in driving positive change. This was followed by Mr. Victor Gbenga Afolabi's address on innovating for sustainability. The CEO as a catalyst for societal and organizational growth, emphasizing the crucial role of business leaders in driving positive change. This was followed by Mr. Victor Gbenga Afolabi's address on innovating for sustainability. The CEO role in driving long-term impact, highlighting the importance of sustainable practices in corporate strategy. The session concluded with an engaging question and answer segment, fostering a dynamic exchange between speakers and attendees.
We've heard it over and over. To do the same thing and expect a different result is the definition of insanity, right? Yeah. So why are some MDs afraid to call the shots? Yes, we've seen extreme cases where some MDs are actually trigger happy with fire at will. But we have some very, very calm, empathetic bosses. And it's such an honor to have those bosses. I'm telling you, painfully some people take those kind of bosses for granted. Bosses who will not fire at will. Bosses who will temper, justice with the mercy.
In your opinion, do you think true leaders are born or could they be taught?
I think leaders are made. The environment, the people you meet, and the influences on your life determines. Everybody is born blank, so it's not like a talent. It's learned.
Sir, do you think leaders are born or can they grow into the role of leadership?
I think my take to it will be two-pronged. Leaders can be born and some can also grow into it.
Okay, do you think true leadership is inborn or do you think it can be taught?
I think that true leadership can be taught. There isn't any kind of nurturing that you require that you cannot get. The idea, however, is to be able to get the correct people to teach it and for you to be able to imbibe it and impact it on others.
Now let's dive deeper into the Bullion Lecture 2025. This year's event, A hallmark of intellectual discourse on economic development was themed Architecting the Energy Sector for Nigeria's 1 trillion economy vision. The event commenced with the arrival of guests, followed by formal introductions. The proceedings began with the national anthem, setting a tone of national significance. Mr. Ernest ABMFR, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Center for Financial Journalism, delivered a welcome address emphasizing the importance of the lecture's theme. Mrs. Tolulokpe Longe, National President of Women in Energy, Oil and Gas, and Chairman of the Bullion Lecture 2025, provided opening remarks, setting the stage for the day's discussions. A special guest of honor, Chief Adebayo Adelabo, the Minister of Power, also offered remarks highlighting the government's perspective on the energy sector. The guest lecturer, Professor Bat Naji, founder and Chief Executive Officer of Geometric Power Limited and former Minister of Power, was introduced by the Master of Ceremonies, Sir Azu Arinze, publisher of Yes International. Professor Naji then delivered a comprehensive lecture on architecting the energy sector for Nigeria's 1 trillion economy vision, providing in-depth analysis and recommendations. A panel discussion followed, featuring Dr. Ogo Okiti, CEO of Think Business Africa and convener of the Africa Business Convention, and Mr. Victor Okoronkwo, Group Managing Director of ITO Eastern Exploration and Production Company Limited. The panelists offered diverse perspectives on the challenges and opportunities within Nigeria's energy sector. The event also featured a question and answer session, allowing for audience engagement. The lecture concluded with the presentation of plaques to the resource persons, acknowledging their valuable contributions. Mr. Ray Echebiri, CEO of the Center for Financial Journalism, delivered the vote of thanks. The national anthem was then played, and guests were invited to a refreshment session. We also celebrated outstanding achievements at the 2024 Vanguard Personality of the Year Award. The evening was a celebration of excellence, recognizing individuals who have made extraordinary contributions to society. The event began with the arrival of guests and the observance of introductions and protocols. The national anthem set a dignified tone for the evening. The editor of Vanguard Media delivered remarks highlighting the significance of the awards and the recipients' accomplishments. The highlight of the night was, of course, the presentation of awards. The awards were interspersed with entertainment interludes featuring performances that added to the celebratory atmosphere. The pinnacle of the evening was the presentation of the Personality of the Year and Good Governance Award, recognizing exceptional leadership and societal impacts. Mr. Adekunle Adekoya, Deputy Editor, delivered the vote of thanks, expressing gratitude to all those who celebrated to the success of the event. The evening concluded with a final entertainment performance. At Achievement News, we are committed to bringing you stories that highlight the diverse paths to success and the individuals and initiatives that are shaping a brighter future. This event exemplifies the spirit of achievement and the power of collective vision. This is what Achievement News is all about, celebrating the power of human potential and transformative impact of dedication and the unwavering belief in a brighter future. Join us in celebrating this achievement and in striving for your own. Don't miss out on more uplifting stories like this one. Hit the subscribe button on the Achievement channel and join a growing community of dreamers, achievers, and change makers. Be the first to hear the news that motivates, stories that empower, and insights that elevates. Also visit our website at www.achievementchannel.com for more. See you next time on Achievement News, where every story is a step towards empowerment. My name is Comfort Edonise Basi. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to Eloquence Unleashed. This is the show where we teach you the art and science of public speaking and communication, coming to you live from Nigeria's public speaking and communication institution, the School of Eloquence. I am Christine Davis. Today, we're going to be looking at what public speaking can do for you as an individual, both personally and professionally. But before we do that, let's take a quick dive at some of the amazing moments at our trainings and events.
Why Achievement Channel? Very simple, to perpetuate a can-do culture. To help people believe, know that they can do it. They can achieve something in life. With their talent, with their gift, with their potential, they can make a difference. As teachers, you are daily achieving. It doesn't have to be when we celebrate it on television. You don't have to be a celebrity. Look, there's a difference between an achiever and a celebrity. You can become a celebrity for all the wrong reasons. Celebrity is essentially notoriety. Essentially. It's not particularly achievement. Achievement is very substantive. That's why sometimes you have a group of people we refer to as silent achievers. Save your energy, because when you save it, you'll be able to see that student that needs help and help. You'll be able, and that takes you to the next circle, COI, circle of influence. So a lot of you have lost tremendous opportunities to influence because you kept on busy yourself here. Oh, what is happening? How will my salary now pay this kind of thing now? Even the bank of rest, please check the price again. Check the price again. Yeah, has it gone up? Has it gone up? As it's going up or down, your heart beats. It's going up. So the circle of concern is expanding and is having more and more impact on you. And that is what happens. As you dwell here, what happens is that it continues to expand. A teacher affects eternity. One of my mentors, who has taught me so much, is Professor Patu Tole. I've known Professor Tole for over 20 years now, since 2002. I usually call myself his apprentice. Because when you have a very good teacher, most of what I've been able to do in corporate environment, where I just get up and I'm talking and a lot of the things I'm sharing, because I had a very good teacher. When people applaud me, I said, I had a good teacher. 6. So that gives you a wide berth. So you choose one, look at it, analyze it critically, and craft number 1, think action that you're going to take. So action, you can write that. Choose any of those topics. 1, analyze critically and frame a topic. That's the first step. Please write it down because it's going to get them working with guidelines.
Okay, you're welcome back. This is the show Eloquence Unleashed, and I remain Christine Davis. On this segment, we're going to be talking to the Dean, School of Eloquence, which is the premier training institution of public speaking and communication in Nigeria. Now, we have in our studios the Dean himself, Mr. Ubong Isian. It's such a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Nice to be here, Christine.
Thank you so much for coming. We're going to be looking at what impact really does public speaking and communication as a skill, what does it do to the public, personally and professionally. You've been doing this for 18 years.
That's right.
So in terms of impact, sir, how much impact would you say this has given the public space in Nigeria?
So I'd like to look at the impact first from the standpoint of those who learn the skill and use the skill. The impact on their lives personally, the impact on their careers, and of course the impact in terms of their influence. These are the things you want to look at. I normally refer to them as the 3 R's. The first R is what we call the reward. The second R is the result. And the third R is the respect. if you're a career person and you learn how to speak well in public, there are many rewards you can logically expect to get. It could impact very well in terms of your promotion, in terms of your earning more financially, and in terms of lots of other workplace-related benefits as you continue to make progress and advance in life and in your career. Those are the rewards. Then the results. When you speak well in public, you have a clear message, well articulated, and you deliver that message with eloquence. You will find that you can influence people to buy into your ideas, to change over to your position, to get a frame or a sense of your frame of mind and reason with you. You can win friends. Then you can also, in many ways, apart from persuading people, you can influence the direction of things. That's the result. People can begin to move in certain directions on account of your communication. That's the impact. And then, of course, the third R, which has to do with the respect. When you speak very well, people admire you. Some begin to even look up to you. Yes. They even place you on a pedestal. You become like a role model. You become like an example. So many people respect Barack Obama today because of the way he speaks. There are many parents who want their children to grow up to speak like Barack Obama. They respect that sense of esteem and honor that comes with it. These three dimensions, reward, result, respect, are a reflection of the impact that you're talking about on both the person who is able to speak well in public, as well as the spillover effects to the audience, those who listen, what it inspires them to do, what it inspires them to think of as well, how they see the world. Most of us see the world differently today because we heard a very good speaker who was able to articulate the ideas and present the matter in a very meaningful and impactful manner. Most of us are followers of certain leaders today because of the import and the impact of their words, the ability to carry an audience, to project command, control, the ability to articulate intelligently and explain what complex ideas they carried in their minds to their audiences, making it very simple. So the power of words, being able to speak eloquently, being effective, being powerful through your oral communication is priceless and most impactful. Perhaps one of the most impactful of capabilities all through human history. So in the Nigerian context, we can interpret it in various ways. And where we don't have it, for instance, we don't have eloquent communication evident in the political ecosystem of Nigeria. So you find that that sector is boring. That sector is not engaging. Maybe one or two politicians who stand out and you see the kind of following that such speakers amass because they are able to speak to the yearnings and aspirations of a certain group and they follow them. And that's really how we can impact ourselves or impact society through our communication. But politically right now in Nigeria, you really have, it's very sparse, very limited, and you therefore find that our politics is not exciting, is not engaging, is not interesting. So political gladiators resort to name-calling, gaslighting, and all of those elements that are like sound bites that stoke the flames of anger and discontent so that they continue to get away with it, talking about the politicians.
Okay, I like that you brought in politics. I would say that someone like Peter Obi enjoyed this eloquence that you speak about. He was able to relate with his audience, and it's no wonder why you see most of the young people were able to, you know, relate with him as he spoke, and that was what brought in his votes, I would say.
Yes,
as Peter Obi.
In fairness, Peter Obi scores, when you compare to, when you look at the entire political landscape, you could say that, yes, Peter Obi was able to strike a nerve by clearly having a message. It appealed to his audience. He was able to reach out to those yearnings, but he targeted a clear message, which is very important. And this is very important because we live in a society where when you are running commentaries, people can easily, because of limited perspective, begin to reason those perspectives from the standpoint of ethnicity, religion, and all that. But we're not talking the politics of Labour Party, not the politics of Peter Obi as a person. We're talking functionally about the ability to speak in public and get the message across. Now, there are those who listened to Peter Obi and felt his voice was too thin. And he does have that unique imprimatur on his voice with some level of thinness to his voice. But that did not stop him. He, first and foremost, he had a clear sense of structure with regards to his message, and he could stand and speak for extended periods of time intelligently and then connected especially with the young audience. He spoke their language, delivered his message in their language, and was able to galvanize, and that's the influence we're talking about, and then earned their respect, which is so important, and that has continued. So you have a lot of people that are followers of the man because they heard him speak, and his message resonated with them. So he is a good example in very recent times and practical times, or a practical example of eloquence or in eloquence. You do have other Nigerians that are very reflective of the value of eloquence. You do have, in the much older generation, the likes of Dr. Christopher Kolade. You do have someone like Chief Emeka Anyoku. You do have Professor Jerry Ghana. These are very fine examples. And amongst the women, you have the likes of Amina Mohammed, who is currently with the United Nations. You have the likes of Obi Ezekwesili. These are some very good examples, or fine examples of people who have influenced audiences by virtue of their communication.
Very briefly, since we're talking about the School of Eloquence, which we must always bring our attention to, in terms of demography, just can you tell me, because some people feel that the School of Eloquence is just for successful people, public speakers, business people, entrepreneurs. In terms of demography, what scope would you give that, just very slightly? And then also, as you answer that question, what would be your advice to people that are thinking in that way? And also people, I would like to add that question, that feel that public speaking cannot be taught. It is simply an innate gift given by God. So if you can just lump that and answer that.
That's like asking me to squeeze an entire day's master
exactly.
into
So
30 seconds. But let's do the best that we can with that, because being concise, brevity, as Francis Bacon once said, is the soul of wit. So with regards to the first question, the argument or the perception that a School of Eloquence, Nigeria's premier public speaking school, a place where you get to learn public speaking, is for successful people. Well, that is a faulty assumption. It is also for those who want to be successful. So if you want to be successful, you are equally welcome, because that is one skill that can help you become even more successful in terms of whatever career you're currently pursuing, or if you're an entrepreneur, an independent person, whatever field of human endeavor you find yourself in, you will always need to speak in public. So it is for both the successful ones who want to be more successful and the unsuccessful ones who want to have a taste of success. That's that. Then the other point, or the other question, is public speaking a skill or a talent? Is it a gift of nature or in the realm of nurture? Well, the answer is very simple. There are no born public speakers. Yes, great speakers are made. Yes. There are no born public speakers. There are no born ones. Great speakers are made and not born. Public speaking is a skill and can be learned. That's why you have the School of Eloquence.
I love this discussion. You've heard it for yourself from the Dean of the School of Eloquence himself, Ubong Essen, popularly known as Mr. Motivator. And he's been here telling us that indeed public speakers are not born. It is a skill that can be learned, and where you can learn it and learn it very well, of course, is at the School of Eloquence here in Nigeria. I believe that all of the information that you need will be on their social media handles and, of course, their website. So it is not something that is far-fetched. You can get it. This is where we wrap up the segment, the Dean's Discourse. Make sure you join us next time, where we'll be having more profound conversations to be able to show you how and where you need public speaking and how it can really develop you as a person. We'll be right back. that's it for the show today. Hope you had an amazing time. Do join us next time at Eloquence Unleashed, where we give you tips and insights on public speaking and communication from the School of Eloquence, which is the premier training institution for public speaking and communication in Nigeria. I remain Christine Davis. See you next time.
We wear the khaki, but we carry more than just a bag. We carry dreams, grit, and a will to serve.
This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Hello and welcome to Corpuscan, the show that inspires young Nigerians to maximize their NYSC journey and become their very best. I'm your host Priscilla Anichi, and you are watching us on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence Studios here in Ikoyi, Lagos. Today's episode is one every young person truly needs. Our topic is Talk and Shine, the power of eloquence in everyday life, because how you speak determines how far you go. From CDS meetings to PPA presentations, from interviews to everyday conversations, the way you express yourself can open doors or close them. So today, we're breaking down what it really means to speak with clarity, confidence, and authenticity, and how to use your voice as a tool for opportunity and influence. To help us explore this inspiring conversation, I'm joined by two amazing guests. Our first guest is Abdul Wahid Issa, a passionate communicator with a background in mass communication from Kwara State Polytechnic. He has gained field experience with New Telegraph Publishing Company and Daily Trust newspapers, and is also skilled in solar and inverter installation, a true example of youth versatility. And our second guest is Adeyola Nafisat Fumilayo, a dynamic and purpose-driven communicator and current core member at the School of Eloquence, Ikoyi, Lagos. A graduate of Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. She is passionate about self-expression and believes in the power of words to transform lives. Nafisat represents a new generation of confident young women redefining leadership and influence.
This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Welcome to Corpuscan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nafisat.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Today's topic is Talk and Shine, the power of eloquence in everyday life.
Okay.
And I have a question. How can a copper prepare for presentation or CDS discussions without overthinking?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having us on the show here.
Yeah, thank you.
So how can a copper prepare for a presentation or CDS meeting from right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In anything you want to do in life, there is this one thing you need to keep in mind. Because if you fail to do that, anything you do afterwards might not fall in place as you've wanted. And what's that thing? It's planning. Planning on anything whatsoever you want to do. Let's keep aside presentation or anything you want to do in life. You need planning, and not just planning, proper planning. Under that planning, then we can now have some other things which will follow. For any presentation or for any presentation we are going for, while planning, under planning, you need to plan your topic. What are those things? You need to make research about the presentation topic you want to give. You need to make proper research. Not even a detailed one. and a comprehensive one. So while planning your topic, you need to put into consideration what are your target audience, or who are your target audience? Who are they like? Are they how do I say it? Are they the mid class or the lower class or the higher class? So you'll be able to know how you'll be able to present your topics or your speech. Considering these three people, I mean the mid class, the lower class, and the higher class, I think while doing that, we should consider mostly the mid class. Because if you are able to put the mid class into consideration, at least the higher class will be able to fit in, while the lower class also will be able to fit in. Because if you think of considering the higher class, the lower class might not be able to get the message you are trying to pass across. But if we are able to consider the mid class, at least, yes, both the higher class and the mid class people will be able to know, okay, I can get this message or what this person is trying to present. What we need to do again concerning presentation or CDS meeting is that we just need to be as simple as possible. Being simple is just, it explains a situation whereby what you are presenting, it is as simple as when you tell anybody, even those who don't go to school, they will be able to understand that, oh no, I can understand what this person is trying to pass across. Because if you start your presentation or during the course of presentation, you go about speaking jargons, like all these, let me say, big grammars. Some people might find it very difficult to comprehend. And such presentation, it creates, how do I say it? It dulls the morale of the listeners or your audience.
True.
So to save our time, let me just limit it to that. Proper planning is very, very cogent, or is very, very important.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Lisa, what do you think?
Well, I will just add to what he said. I agree with him about planning.
Okay.
He said something about in everything you do in life, you have to plan. And I think it's very, very correct. Because there's a saying that says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So in any situation you find yourself, the first thing you do is to plan. But for me, what I will add to it is that apart from planning, even if you planned well enough, you have to, there is something called stage fright. No matter how prepared or no matter how well prepared you are, if you are not confident about yourself, you will not be able to to talk to people. You have to stop thinking about the perfection of your speech. You have to start thinking about how to get people to relate with your speech.
That's what you're saying.
So there's room for imperfection. There's no perfection in any speech. Even the president's speeches are not always perfect. But one thing that is very important is the message is passing across. His target audience understand what he's saying. That's one of the most important things. Because even if you plan very well, and the people your audience cannot even relate or understand what you are saying, there's nothing you are saying. You are not passing any message across. No matter how well prepared you are, you will not make any sense. And there's room for imperfection. Nobody's perfect. And the reason why a lot of people overthink it, I won't lie, I'm also an overthinker. So if you have to remove that overthinking out of the way when you are prepared to. My own is just start. No matter how difficult it is, or just start anyhow. And one thing is that you have to be relaxed.
True.
If you are relaxed and you are confident in yourself, and the major thing you're after is the message you want to pass across. Trust me, once you start, you will not even know when you start flowing. And before you know it, you are done. And the next thing you are seeing is a round of applause or standing ovation after that speech. You don't have to talk too much. People just want to make sense out of what you are saying.
True.
They don't want all these big grammars. They just want something they can relate to. They just want to make sense out of whatever it is they are saying. Imagine having a large amount of people in a room. For example, you go for a conference, and the first speaker. That's why most conferences they used to time the speaker. You say this so person is speaking for 10 minutes. So imagine the first speaker is speaking for about 30 minutes, and it's very, very boring. Like you cannot even make sense out of it saying. Yeah. You will not even be eager to listen to the next person coming, because the person that opened the floor has already spoiled everything. Like, what are they? So what you have at the back of your mind is that everybody coming up to speak is practically speaking jargons or something that is not very realistic. So one thing you have to do is that, apart from planning, be confident about yourself. Make sure what you are saying, your message you are passing, is making a lot of sense. No matter how short, even you can say something of 5 seconds. It's 5 seconds, and someone that talk for 30 minutes may not even make sense to that person that just speak for only 5 seconds.
Okay.
So I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, thank you so much. And adding to what Wahid said, planning, I feel like you plan before you actually present. Once you like practice, like looking at the mirror,
exactly,
making presentations. And funny thing is that when you start presenting, you wouldn't even know where you get comfortable, and then you just flow easily. And also, most speakers, most of them still practice before they start. So it's not like, oh, yes. So I also feel like, yeah, you actually hit the nail on that.
Thank you.
And then another thing, why do people feel nervous when speaking? And how can they manage that fear?
Well, I think about being nervous.
Yeah.
It's just a human thing.
Okay.
Even if you have been doing it over and over again. If you have been seeing someone, for example, a TV anchor that you have been seeing every day on your screen, trust me, every blessed day, no matter how long that person has been doing that show or been appearing, there will still something. So you'll not just be much compared to someone that is doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
You'll still be nervous, and that nervous is just a human thing. Like I said earlier, you have to be very confident about yourself. So some people go by speaking, they are affirming. A lot of people can think probably saying word of affirmation is a teenager's thing. It's not a teenager's thing. Anybody can do it. As an adult, you can do it. So some people can do this word of affirmation that yes, I believe in myself, I can do it. Or probably have someone there that is just behind the scene encouraging you. You can do it and everything like that. That will make you believe in yourself. Like, okay, fine, I can do this. So you cannot compare someone that has been doing it for a while than someone that just started. Especially if you are starting for the first time, there is no way you will not be nervous. So that nervous is a common thing.
Yeah.
Common thing, male, female, young adults, everybody. Even someone that has been speaking for over decades, when they still want to speak, there is always a first time for everything. No matter how, there's always a first time, even if you have been speaking for a while. So imagine you that have been speaking, and you are kind of speaking to a different set of people. Of course, you'll be nervous because you've never spoken to that kind of people before. So I think the way we can try to manage is to be very, very when you want to deliver a speech, be relaxed. Don't be too stiff, and make sure that nervousness is not showing. Because once it's showing, you will lose your courage, and you might even find yourself shaking in front of a whole lot of people. So be very relaxed. Be confident in yourself that yes, you can pull this off. And like I said, make sure you focus on the message you are passing. Don't think about this set of people. What will they think of me? Don't think about that. And don't think about all of the what ifs. Put it at the back behind you. Don't say, what if I fucked up? What if these people? What if they don't like the way I spoke? All of that, put it behind you. Focus on yourself. Be confident and make sure you get them to listen and relate to whatever message you are passing across. I think that's That's what it is for me.
Okay. Wahid, how do you think? Avoid
Yes.
fear?
Actually, he has done justice to that. But but what I think I can add something to my own contribution to it is that, as she has said, there is always a first time to everything. Let me take myself as an example. Let me say for years back now, or let me say some years back, even up till now, it gets to some places, maybe I want to speak to a few number of people, I still feel that nervousness within me.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of, like, my mind is always shaking.
Yeah.
It even got to a point whereby they will hand over the mic to me. Okay, just say something in a public gathering. I'll be like,
What did I want to say?
because I find it very difficult standing in front of the audience at times.
Yeah.
But although I'm not that perfect now, but at least the fear compared to now, when we compare now and then, at least I think I've been able to let me say overcome to some certain extent.
Okay.
So, and how do we overcome this nervousness? Firstly, as she has said, confidence is very, very important.
Yes.
You need to build the confidence in you. You need to have the mind that, no, I can do this.
Okay.
Because if you start having this nervous issue, like being afraid of, what if I make mistake? What if I utter something that is not even in line with? Once you have that fear in you, it will just discourage it. It kills your morale.
Yes.
It doesn't even allow you to. You might even have a very nice presentation or a very nice speech, but once the confidence is not there, or once you lose the confidence, forget it. You've lost everything. And one of the ways we can come up being confident is, firstly, let's try and have discussions within ourselves. Let's take, for instance, you have some friends, probably maybe you go for CDS, or for you to be able to overcome that fear or that fear in you, just engage with some people, even if not many, like 2-3 people. Just engage, just discuss some random things. At least with that, you start to build your confidence a bit from there.
You have to start from somewhere.
Exactly. And apart from that, we all have our cell phones. Just place your phone in front, or you just stand at the front of the mirror, or what do you call it? Should I call it mirror?
Camera.
So just stand at the front. Even if you have a digital camera, exactly, just place it at the front. Just display anything you would want to display. Just take that camera as audience. So once you are done, you too can just go through it and evaluate yourself.
Yes.
Okay, if this were to be something that maybe maybe I can even get any opportunity from. How do I want to present myself at the end of the year? How do they evaluate me? So I think by so doing, you should be able to come over or overcome the fearness, the nervousness, or whatsoever.
All right, thank you so much, Wahid. I also feel like it all starts from somewhere. You have to start.
Exactly.
And then once you start and you see yourself making progress, you are determined to just keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right now, we'll be going on a short break, and when we're back, we'll be talking about the power of eloquence in everyday life.
We wear the khaki, but we carry more than just a bag. We carry dreams, grit, and a will to serve.
This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Welcome back to Corpuscan. Before we went on a short break, we were talking about the power of eloquence in everyday life. And moving forward, Nafisat, how can someone build their speaking confidence daily, even in simple everyday conversations?
To answer that question, I think building confidence is not a day job. Like, it's from, I think, from little to big. You start from somewhere. You cannot just wake up one day and say, okay, fine, I want to build my confidence, and boom, that same day you build it. So building confidence starts from little discussion, little conversation you have. There be a conversation within your friends. Why you make mention of recording yourself, standing in front of camera? That can also help. When you want to know how you actually sound, take your phone, put up a camera and record yourself. And I'm very sure by the time you listen to how you sound, if you don't like how the way you sound, you already know where and how to adjust. So you can also start by making your friends listen to you. Let them listen to you. Let them tell you their opinion of how they felt when they listen to you. Let them tell you your lapses, where you can work on. If you actually want to speak out loud, like you said, building confidence, you have to be very, you have to trust yourself. Like, yes, you can do it, because confidence starts with trusting. So if you cannot trust yourself as an individual, how do you expect your audience to trust you? So when you trust yourself, you'll be able to build that confidence. Let your friends listen to you. Probably I have a presentation I'm preparing for. And I don't want to go there first. I want to know if I actually nail that presentation. It's not about reading. Reading out loud can also help. I used to call my friend. There's this presentation I want to do. I want you to listen to me. Act as if you are my boss or you are my audience. Hear whatever it is I want to say and tell me where you think I have that last, where you think I can adjust before the due day. So you can start from there. Can have your friends listen to you. Can read out loud.
Okay.
When you read out loud, as long as you hear whatever it is, you hear yourself. At times when I say something, even when the moment I say it out, like, you don't have to tell me that no. I already know that this thing I just talk, it does not enter at all. I already know. So I know when I'm making sense and when I'm not. But one thing is that if you want to know when you're making sense, if you don't speak out, you won't know if you're actually making sense. There's something like reading inside of you, but you can't achieve that if you want to be confident. You have to read out loud. When you read out loud, you'll be able to hear yourself. You know if you are making sense or not. So I think that kind of to record yourself. So I think all of those things can help you build your confidence.
What do you
In addition to what she said, I would just like to make reference to something. Let me say, I learned it from the Dean of School of Eloquence, Mr. Obong, ACN.
Okay.
There are 3 things you shouldn't compromise. Building your speaking confidence. Number 1 is your facial expression. Let me say your eye contact. You need to maintain eye contact with your audience. That's very, very important. If you are making presentation and you're looking downwards or you're looking up or you're looking sideways, like, who are you really presenting to?
Yes.
The second one is your voice.
You
don't compromise your voice. Your voice is very, very important.
Yes.
You want to make exactly. You want to make presentation and you are like speaking, even the person next to you hardly hear what you're saying. So your voice shouldn't be compromised. And the third one, your hand gestures. You should be able to visualize things with your hands, so that even those that are not hearing what you are saying, but they are seeing your hand gestures, they will know that this person is talking about so thing. So I think that's just what I should contribute.
And I also think that when you're communicating with people, you should also keep in mind, like you said, facial expression and all of that. Also keep in mind your iconic gestures and your big gestures. Know how to express yourself in other sides apart from speaking. So also, can you share a moment when good communication opened the door for you?
So actually, I have not experienced that before per se.
Okay.
Because, or let me just say, I've received some compliments. When it comes to speaking to how do I say it, a small gathering. or speaking in a small gathering, I've had some compliments. No, wow, you did well, you did well.
Yes.
There is a program we normally hold. It's a religion program.
Okay.
So at least there are some programs under it, under the events. I mean, a list of programs. At least one person will anchor each of the programs.
Okay.
So when it gets to my turn, like the way I present some things, and at the end of the day, I will see some people will be like, so you can say this, you can. Yes. I really enjoyed. You know, that kind of feedback. It even gives you more confidence.
Yes.
So even me, I was like, have I said anything? One thing is that once you are able to come over your fears, you just face it. Trust me, at the end of the day, you will even get more compliments than you ever expected.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Well, for me, I won't really say what's it called, but one thing I have learned is little conversation has actually helped me in gaining one or two, in the sense that when I started this NYSC journey, I understand that you don't know who is who.
Yeah.
So I give at least that little grace. Okay, let's even hear what he or she has to say. And even the one thing is that I remember a particular time I went to do my documentation at the secretariat. So I think I met about 2 or 3. We didn't know each other for anywhere. So from that queue, we wanted to submit our documents from there. So there was a particular day I need to join a then it's not even CDS group. Okay. Because I relocated. So I need to join an active Lagos core members group. I need something, and I know that once I dropped that was the code. So I just texted her. I don't know, babe, please can you help me? She's part of the people that I met on the what's it called. Can you help me? I'm trying to get into a what's it called. I don't know if she just sent me about 3 links. I was like, wow. Imagine if I did not have actually connected with her, or that was just the end of the day. That's how I would have actually lost that was it. And that particular group, they drop very good information, updates every blessed day. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things I will say NYSC treats us. Even if you are in your mother's womb, you will come out because you will need help, and you cannot ask for help by keeping your mouth closed. You have to open your mouth. And asking for help or what's it called? It's not a matter of I don't like to talk. No, you will talk.
Yeah.
And about this labor market. Okay. You have to be able to pitch yourself. Yeah. You don't know where you can miss that one opportunity. So you have to be able to pitch yourself. Even if I know that you want to talk, imagine that you want to talk to me and I not even make it. And it's talk for probably I gave you 5 minutes. Okay, pitch yourself to me, and I cannot even make sense out of that 5 minutes of what exactly you actually want. It does not make. So you have to learn how to pitch yourself. Yeah. You don't know how that opportunity will come. You help you. Okay. So that's it.
All right. And adding to pitching yourself, I mean, I went for a seminar, and one of the speakers asked questions, and somebody stood up and answered, and she won money. So it doesn't matter, you just have to put yourself out there, yes. And you never know which might work for you. Thank you, Waheed and Nafisat.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Much.
Thank you for gracing us in the Copper Cans program and also sharing your insights on the power of eloquence in everyday life.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much.
This is Corporate, rising to serve, rising to lead.
What an empowering conversation we've had today. If there's one thing to take away, is this. Eloquence isn't about big grammar. It's about being clear, confident, and true to yourself. Your voice is one of your greatest assets, and how you use it can shape your future in powerful ways. A big thank you to our guests, Abdul Waheed Issa and Adeyola Nafisat Fumilayo, for sharing their insights, and thank you for watching Corpus Can on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station. Don't forget to follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Achievement Channel. I'm Priscilla Aniche, And until next time, keep speaking well, keep showing up, and keep shining. Thank you, and see you next time on Corpus Can.
This is Corpus Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Hello and welcome to Eloquence Unleashed. This is the show where we teach you the art and science of public speaking and communication, coming to you live from Nigeria's Public Speaking and Communication Institution, the School of Eloquence. I am Christine Davis. Today, we're going to be looking at what public speaking can do for you as an individual, both personally and professionally. But before we do that, let's take a quick dive at some of the amazing moments at our trainings and events.
Why Achievement Channel? Very simple, to perpetuate a can-do culture. To help people believe, know that they can do it. They can achieve something in life. With their talent, with their gift, with their potential. They can make a difference. As teachers, you are daily achieving. It doesn't have to be when we celebrate it on television. You don't have to be a celebrity. Look, there's a difference between an achiever and a celebrity. You can become a celebrity for all the wrong reasons. Celebrity is essentially notoriety. Essentially. It's not particularly achievement. Achievement is very substantive. That's why sometimes you have a group of people we refer to as silent achievers. Save your energy, because when you save it, you'll be able to see that student that needs help and help. You'll be able, and that takes you to the next circle, COI, circle of influence. So a lot of you have lost tremendous opportunities to influence because you kept on busy yourself here. Oh, this, what is happening? How will my salary now pay this kind of thing now? Even the bag of rice, please check the price again. Check the price again. Yeah, has it gone up? Has it gone up? As it's going up or down, your heart beats. It's going up. So the circle of concern is expanding and is having more and more impact on you. And that is what happens. As you dwell here, what happens is that it continues to expand. A teacher affects eternity. One of my mentors, who has taught me so much, is Professor Patu Tome. I've known Professor Tome for over 20 years now, since 2002. I usually call myself his apprentice. Because when you have a very good teacher, most of what I've been able to do in corporate environment, where I just get up and I'm talking, and a lot of the things I'm sharing, because I had a very good teacher. When people applaud me, I said, I had a good teacher. 6. So that gives you a wide berth. So you choose one, look at it, analyze it critically, and craft number 1, think action that you're going to take. So action, you can write that. Choose any of those topics. 1, analyze critically and frame a topic. That's the first step. Please write it down because it's going to get them with the guidelines.
Okay, you're welcome back. This is the show Eloquence Unleashed, and I remain Christine Davis. On this segment, we're going to be talking to the Dean, School of Eloquence, which is the premier training institution of public speaking and communication in Nigeria. Now, we have in our studios the Dean himself, Mr. Ubong Isian. It's such a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Nice to be here, Christine.
Thank you so much for coming. We're going to be looking at what impact really does public speaking and communication as a skill, what does it do to the public, personally and professionally. You've been doing this for 18 years.
That's right.
So in terms of impact, sir, how much impact would you say this has given the public space in Nigeria?
So I'd like to look at the impact first from the standpoint of those who learn the skill and use the skill. The impact on their lives personally, the impact on their careers, and of course the impact in terms of their influence. These are the things you want to look at. I normally refer to them as the 3 R's. The first R is what we call the reward. The second R is the result. And the third R is the respect. If you're a career person and you learn how to speak well in public, there are many rewards you can logically expect to get. It could impact very well in terms of your promotion, in terms of your earning more financially, and in terms of lots of other workplace-related benefits as you continue to make progress and advance in life and in your career. Those are the rewards. Then the results. When you speak well in public, you have a clear message, well articulated, and you deliver that message with eloquence. You will find that you can influence people to buy into your ideas, to change over to your position, to get a frame or a sense of your frame of mind and reason with you. You can win friends. Then you can also, in many ways, apart from persuading people, you can influence the direction of things. That's the result. People can begin to move in certain directions on account of your communication. That's the impact. And then, of course, the third R, which has to do with the respect. When you speak very well, people admire you. Some begin to even look up to you. Yes. They even place you on a pedestal. You become like a role model. You become like an example. So many people respect Barack Obama today because of the way he speaks. There are many parents who want their children to grow up to speak like Barack Obama. They respect that sense of esteem and honor that comes with it. These 3 dimensions, reward, result, respect, are a reflection of the impact that you're talking about on both the person who is able to speak well in public, as well as the spillover effects to the audience, those who listen, what it inspires them to do, what it inspires them to think of as well, how they see the world. Most of us see the world differently today because we heard a very good speaker who was able to articulate the ideas and present the matter in a very meaningful and impactful manner. Most of us are followers of certain leaders today because of the import and the impact of their words, the ability to carry an audience, to project command, control, the ability to articulate intelligently and explain what complex ideas they carried in their minds to their audiences, making it very simple. So the power of words, being able to speak eloquently, being effective, being powerful through your oral communication is priceless and most impactful. Perhaps one of the most impactful of capabilities all through human history. So in the Nigerian context, we can interpret it in various ways. And where we don't have it, for instance, we don't have eloquent communication evident in the political ecosystem of Nigeria. So you find that that sector is boring. That sector is not engaging. Maybe 1 or 2 politicians who stand out and you see the kind of following that such speakers amass because they are able to speak to the yearnings and aspirations of a certain group and they follow them. And that's really how we can impact ourselves or impact society through our communication. But politically right now in Nigeria, you really have, it's very sparse, very limited, and you therefore find that our politics is not exciting, is not engaging, is not interesting. So political gladiators resort to name-calling, gaslighting, and all of those elements that are like sound bites that stoke the flames of anger and discontent so that they continue to get away with it, talking about the politicians.
Okay, I like that you brought in politics. I would say that someone like Peter Obi enjoyed this eloquence that you speak about. He was able to relate with his audience, and it's no wonder why you see most of the young people were able to, you know, relate with him as he spoke, and that was what brought in his votes, I would say.
Yes,
as Peter Obi.
In fairness, Peter Obi scores, when you compare to, when you look at the entire political landscape, you could say that, yes, Peter Obi was able to strike a nerve by clearly having a message. It appealed to his audience. He was able to reach out to those yearnings, but he targeted a clear message, which is very important. Yes. And this is very important because we live in a society where when you are running commentaries, people can easily, because of limited perspective, begin to reason those perspectives from the standpoint of ethnicity, religion, and all that. But we're not talking the politics of Labour Party, not the politics of Peter Obi as a person. We're talking functionally about the ability to speak in public and get the message across. Now, there are those who listened to Peter Obi and felt his voice was too thin. And he does have that unique imprimatur on his voice with some level of thinness to his voice. But that did not stop him. He, first and foremost, he had a clear sense of structure with regards to his message, and he could stand and speak for extended periods of time intelligently and then connected especially with the young audience. He spoke their language, delivered his message in their language, and was able to galvanize, and that's the influence we're talking about, and then earned their respect, which is so important, and that has continued. So you have a lot of people that are followers of the man because they heard him speak, and his message resonated with them. So he is a good example in very recent times and practical times, or a practical example of eloquence or in eloquence. You do have other Nigerians that are very reflective of the value of eloquence. You do have in the much older generation the likes of Dr. Christopher Kolade. You do have someone like Chief Emeka Anyoku. You do have Professor Jerry Ghana. These are very fine examples. And amongst the women, you have the likes of Amina Mohammed, who is currently with the United Nations. You have the likes of Obi Ezekwesili. These are some very good examples, or fine examples of people who have influenced audiences by virtue of their communication.
Very briefly, since we're talking about the School of Eloquence, which we must always bring our attention to, in terms of demography, just can you tell me, because some people feel that the School of Eloquence is just for successful people, public speakers, business people, entrepreneurs. In terms of demography, what scope would you give that, just very slightly? And then also, as you answer that question, what would be your advice to people that are thinking in that way? And also people, I would like to add that question, that feel that public speaking cannot be taught. It is simply an innate gift given by God. So if you can just lump that and answer that. That's
like asking me to squeeze an entire day's master
exactly.
into 30 seconds. But let's do the best that we can with that, because being concise, brevity, as Francis Bacon once said, is the soul of wit. So with regards to the first question, the argument or the perception that a School of Eloquence, Nigeria's premier public speaking school, a place where you get to learn public speaking, is for successful people. Well, that is a faulty assumption. It is also for those who want to be successful. So if you want to be successful, you are equally welcome, because that is one skill that can help you become even more successful in terms of whatever career you're currently pursuing, or if you're an entrepreneur, an independent person, whatever field of human endeavor you find yourself in, you will always need to speak in public. So it is for both the successful ones who want to be more successful and the unsuccessful one who want to have a taste of success. That's that. Then the other point, or the other question, is public speaking a skill or a talent? Is it a gift of nature or in the realm of nurture? Well, the answer is very simple. There are no born public speakers. Yes, great speakers are made. Yes. There are no born public speakers. There are no born ones. Great speakers are made and not born. Public speaking is a skill and can be learned. That's why you have the School of Eloquence.
I love this discussion. You've heard it for yourself from the Dean of the School of Eloquence himself, Ubong Essen, popularly known as Mr. Motivator. And he's been here telling us that indeed public speakers are not born. it is a skill that can be learned, and where you can learn it and learn it very well, of course, is at the School of Eloquence here in Nigeria. I believe that all of the information that you need will be on their social media handles and of course their website, so it is not something that is far-fetched. You can get it. This is where we wrap up the segment, the Dean's Discourse. Make sure you join us next time, where we'll be having more profound conversations to be able to show you how and where you need public speaking and how it can really develop you as a person. We'll be right back. And that's it for the show today. Hope you had an amazing time. Do join us next time at Eloquence Unleashed, where we give you tips and insights on public speaking and communication from the School of Eloquence, which is the premier training institution for public speaking and communication in Nigeria. I remain Christine Davis. See you next time.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Career Success, where we bring you stories of individuals who are making waves in their fields and creating lasting impact in their communities. This is the Achievement Channel, and we are reaching you from our studios, School of Eloquence here in Lagos. I am Oyin Priye Krumale. Today we have a special guest who has not only transformed the digital landscape in Africa, but has also become a global leader in tech advocacy, digital inclusion, and internet governance. Joining us today is none other than Gbenga Shesan, the Executive Director of Paradigm Initiative, an organization that connects underserved young Africans with digital opportunities and champions the protection of online rights with a footprint across more than 27 African countries. Gbenga's incredible journey began with a degree in electronic and electrical engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University. Over the years, he has expanded his influence globally, taking on leadership roles in tech policy making, speaking on issues of internet freedom, digital inclusion, and emerging technologies. He's attended executive education programs at prestigious institutions such as Harvard, Oxford, Lagos Business School, and more, cementing his role as a tech thought leader. He's also a member of the United Nations Secretary General's inaugural Internet Governance Forum Leadership Panel, and has consulted for world-leading institutions like Microsoft, the United Nations, and the World Economic Forum. His commitment to empowering young Africans through technology is truly unparalleled. We are thrilled to have him here with us in the studio. Gbenga Shesan, welcome to Career Success.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You know, I told you before the beginning of the program that your profile, I read it off screen, and I'm like, wow. And I still needed to give this to one of my colleagues to actually prune down, so we don't spend all the 30 minutes of the program reading. Welcome once again to Career Success. Yes. First of all, please paint a picture. Before I go into that, let me say great effect to you.
Great.
Articulate effect.
Okay.
So please paint a picture. Paint a picture of your early beginning.
Yes.
Your primary, secondary, university.
Okay. I mean, I don't get to talk about my nursery school a lot. So I went to nursery school
for
1 year.
Did.
Yeah, Omori Nursery and Primary School in Akure. I was born to a teacher and a nurse. And anyone who's had a teacher as a dad will understand, the implications of that for your study and even for the principles you believe in life. And also, my mom being a nurse, a senior sister who traveled around the world and helped, with impact across the length and breadth of Nigeria. So I grew up not just exposed to education and the impact of it, but also to social value and to social good. And I think that somehow I thought I was going to study medicine in school. I thought I was getting that side of my mom, but what I was really getting was more of the social impact for myself and my dad. I mean, my dad, I would go on the streets in Accra and I'll meet someone randomly who's either been disciplined or has been tutored by my dad before.
Okay.
Or, I'll be in my mom's office and I'll be listening to stories, people thanking her for helping to save the lives of their children. And I'm like, wow, and all that. So I went to nursery school and I went to, St. Peter's Demonstration Primary School in Akure for 6 years before going to Federal Government College in Idoani. And I think it was in Idoani that obviously in secondary school you start thinking, oh, I'm doing sciences, I'm doing this. I thought I was going to do, because everybody called me doctor in my class. My mom is a nurse and all our friends were like, oh, doctor, when they are doctor. But I realized that I loved blowing things up in the house. I'll connect the anger to a cable and plug it in and it will spark. And I knew so somehow.
And you are excited.
Oh, it was very exciting. It was great to see things spark. It's boring when you plug in something in the video, it plays and you watch and you sleep off. But when something sparks, that's it. And so I sort of started talking to people and I realized that this was engineering. I didn't know what area of engineering that I met a senior in secondary school, Kwayemi Rugasa, who was, in fact, was in my primary school. He was a senior period for me. I became senior period after him, and then we were together in secondary school. He was a senior a year ahead of me, and he talked about electric, and I was like, okay, fine. I mean, this looks good. What do you need? Physics, chemistry, maths, English? Okay, that's fine. And I also didn't like blood. I mean, we did some experiments in the lab, and I think I was going to throw up. And I felt very faint seeing blood, so it was very obvious that medicine was not my path, but it was engineering. So I got into IFE, studied engineering, and along the line, I mean, it was my second year in IFE. This was in 1996 that we got this huge computers connected to the internet on campus, and I got attracted to those computers. School was shut down, by the way, for I think about 6 months. And that period, I didn't go home. I wrote a letter to my dad through my friend, Pariwelo, to give the letter to my dad to say, sorry, I'm not coming home. I know you want me to come home to wash the car, OD 1822, and to fetch water, but allow me to stay back. You'll be proud of me in the future. Letter to my dad and make sure that I didn't go myself, because if I had gone home to say, Daddy, I want to go back to school, according to Ife, he would say, just hold on, just wait. But I knew that I needed that phase in my life to prepare for the future. I wasn't sure what it was exactly, but don't forget that to use a computer room, I had to sign up for 30 minutes. So I'll write Benga Sheson, 30 minutes. I'll come back, change the name to Benga Olanina, which is my dad's surname, so that they won't think it's the same person. It was all my names. BC, my middle name, and my dad's middle name, to just get many slots. But this time, everybody was off campus. So it was myself, Deolu, Ashaye, and Titi Akinsomi. And we were on campus. So I would go to this place. The 20 computers would be calling my name. Benga, come and use me. Benga, come and use me. So I decided I was going to stay back on campus. And to be honest, I think that was when I laid the foundation for my career. Because there was no distraction. I mean, I didn't have money. I didn't have a lot of food, but I didn't die. I mean, growing up as a Christian at that time myself, there was one very simple solution for me. I fasted every day. For that 1 year, I was fasting because it meant I had to eat 1 meal a day. So I thought it was good for me spiritually. It was good for me physically. I didn't have enough money to eat 3 meals. And also the fact that, eat one solid meal of beans and gari that is concentrated, and you will not think of food again. And drink water, but that period laid a foundation for me. And then when I went for my industrial attachment, I met Dr. James Shotomi of blessed memory, who got me to work with him for my industrial attachment in my 4th year, and then introduced me to web design. So building on my knowledge of computers with web design, it was just almost certain that I was going to focus. In fact, when I was going back to campus, I made up my mind what my project topic was going to be. I wasn't going to wait for any lecturer. In fact, I suggested to the lecturers that I was going to have a project topic, and most of the people I talked to were like, no, you have to go and pick from the list. I'm like, no. This list, solenoids, control, these are past projects. These are projects, power supply. I thought Nigeria would solve the power supply problem very quickly. So I was like, no, forget it. Let me look into the future, e-commerce and things like that. So I did it.
As far as back then, you were looking at
1999, yes.
E-commerce
my project topic was e-commerce, e-registration. So it was supposed to combine e-commerce with student registration. And it was, by the way, it was my final year project. My supervisor, Professor Kunle, wonderful man, said to me, Benga, this thing is futuristic. Document it well. So I put it on a CD and gave it to him. and I left a copy with the school. Many years later, I met him and he was like, well, you know, they've implemented your project. You know, just, you know, in every school now does e-registration. I was like, okay. Does that mean I'm a pioneer?
You pioneered it.
I wouldn't say I pioneered it because many people were thinking of it at the same time, but it was my final year project. The one thing that was different was that I think most people were thinking of it as a business, but I thought it was a student research because I'm the student. I'm the one who knows exactly how painful it is to register physically, to go to the health center for registration and they tell you, oh, come tomorrow. Why is there no queuing system? Why is there no online platform that allows me to do this? So that's why for my final year project, which by the way got me into trouble, one of my co-supervisors said it was not very elect, that it was too computing related. So if I want to do it, I should go to the computer science department, and he didn't give me good grades to be honest. But it was fine because you know it was my future. I wasn't exactly concerned about I wanted an A, of course, in my final year project, but I was more concerned about okay, so what happens after the project? After the project, I had to look for a job. It is not that professor that would look for a job. He was a doctor at the time. It wasn't doctor that would look for a job. It was me. And thankfully, Professor Kule Kende was 100% behind it. In fact, when my colleagues were presenting to him for the first time, those who were also being supervised by him, I was presenting at the Information Technology Association of Nigeria Expo, 1999.
As an elect student.
As a final year student in 2000, I went to Abuja. I was invited by Chris Waji, who was president of ITAN at the time, to come and present what, to be honest, I hadn't finished writing the project. It was my first presentation. But I remember the title was E-Commerce, Nigeria and the Next Generation.
That was quite topical, given then the time it came that you were actually, so I actually wanted to leave with a pioneer, but you said a lot of people were thinking around it. And for the fact that this is not coming from a student from computer science, it's coming from an elect.
Yes.
What do you think the young people in this generation can learn from that story?
I think it's very straightforward. What you do in school determines your future. You can cram, pass and forget and graduate and say there are no jobs, or you can choose to do something meaningful and build on it. By the way, when I went to make that presentation in Abuja, Expo, I think it was, I don't remember if it was December, so my project partner, Bumisha Wande, went with me to go and make the presentation because it was a big deal. Like, oh wow, you guys are final year students and you're presenting your project to the entire nation. And it was at that meeting that a man by the name Larry Olosoya listened to me and was like, okay, who is this? He was working at Microsoft at the time. He then mentioned me to Semisoni at Junior Achievement. Oh, by the way, I heard this guy speaking of e-commerce Nigeria Next Generation. It sounds like a very smart student. And Semi at that time was the founder of Junior Achievement Nigeria. She brought Junior Achievement to Nigeria. And they were looking for a young person to represent Nigeria at an IT competition. Perfect. And that is it for students. You need, as young people, you need to realize that luck is real. But luck is only when preparation leads to opportunities. Everybody will complain around you. But if you are ready to invest, and like I said, I mean, they were spending a lot of time in school when everybody chose to go home. And I'm not saying don't go home, but how, my dad already told me when I got into school, and listen, I don't know anybody anywhere. Just go and study, and when you finish, whatever you get is what you get. There are people who have uncles and aunties to help them, no big deal. We're dancing to the sound of different drums. The drum I was dancing to was desperation. There is no future help coming from anywhere. So I better do it, by myself and look for, mentors and others. So my advice to any young person is don't think that school is just let's pass time, cram, pass and forget and graduate with a first class or 2-1 or 2-2. School is the foundation. That's why at the end of the day, most of your friends as an adult are people you met on campus.
Okay, now I need you to address something because of what you just said. School, it's what you put in, that's what you get. Now, there are some social influencers, or let's say musicians. You've heard of the what I call it, action, quote unquote, school NASCAR. You've heard of it?
Oh yeah.
Do you think that's true?
Oh, it's true.
It's
true and it's false.
Please, okay. Now let me hear that.
It's true
because they need to use it as a tool to bring people out. Some young people don't want to go to school.
Oh yeah. And they have many reasons to not want to go to school. Because to be honest, if you look around, start from politicians to other role models. Did they get that from school? We're in Nigeria, where unfortunately we have a status-based economy that doesn't talk about process, but only talks about outcome. End justifies the means. But the problem is it's never sustainable. Politicians will lose elections. People who get opportunities through things that don't build on processes, they'll lose favor. Perfect example, musicians, footballers, and all that, who decided, you know what, school is not for me. When they finish, when they get to the peak of their career, what did they do? Look at someone like Segun Odegbami, for example. They call him the mathematician for a reason. Because even though his football days were over, he could come back to do things based on what he studied in school and intelligence that came with that. So school is a scam in a way, because it is possible for you to go through school and not get anything. But school no be scam. And I'm an example of that. And there are tons of people around the world who are examples of that. That if you go to school, what you're doing is you're picking knowledge that when people who have opportunities finish expiring or, expending all their opportunities, your knowledge, if they throw you in a desert, you use it to create more than what they had in their glory days, which is where process matters. I was just talking to a few young people on Saturday, and I was saying to them that everybody sees the butterfly and we get excited. But what we don't realize, what we don't remember, is that in biology we read about egg, larva, pupa, and then a cocoon. And that process is what gives the wings of the butterfly the strength to fly. It's the same thing with every training process. It is possible for you to arrive suddenly. Of course, I mean, you can, if you want to do your own and get arrested and get thrown into jail, you can do it. If you want to become a politician and steal, and one day God help you, that they catch you, it's okay. But there is the option of doing it right. There is the option of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 before you get to 8. And with that option, nobody can send you to jail for your knowledge. It's not corruption. Nobody can suddenly say, oh, I don't like your face again. You're no longer in this appointed position. In fact, if they fire you, you go back, you dig into that knowledge. It is what you have eaten. It is what you have studied. It is what you have built as a process that helps you to fly. Someone asked me one day, he said, oh, Linda, you'll be part of an initiative into a big organization.
In fact, that is where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming. So I don't want you to... Okay. So it's time for a break. We'll go on a break. And when we return, we're going to be asking Gbenga Shesan how Paradigm Initiative came about. And this thing about electronic governance, I did a course like that in school, but we are going to wait for Gbenga to unleash all of that after this break. To stay with us.
School of Eloquence, our primary focus is on the art of public speaking, because it's a major problem. And public speaking, we must understand, is the raw art of speaker to audience oral communication.
I got a lot more than I actually expected. I have a few years I used to have.
The more you speak, the better you are with speaking.
School of Eloquence is the place you can be, and there's a turnaround. That change you are expecting, you get it there.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us on the program Career Success. Of course, I'm still in the studio with Gbenga Shesan, and he's been letting out nuggets on how to strengthen your youth while in school, or maybe like an entrepreneur or someone who have great aspirations. Welcome once again to the program.
Thank you so much.
So, Paradigm Initiative. Yes. When I was searching for you, it's just easy to get you online. I just went there and contacted Gbenga Shesan. I just came at Gbenga Shesan. Paradigm Initiative Nigeria, PIN. So I started reading. I'm like, I spent time, I read it through. I read it the next day. I came to the office and I just kept reading it because I knew I was going to have this conversation with you. How did it come about?
So it started way back. While I was on campus, two things happened at the same time. So I learned about computers and the internet, and there was also the aspect of Black consciousness, like as an African finding my way in the world. So I started a mailing list called Black Pioneers, and that was supposed to be for me my foray into the future. So it was mostly just for me to, send information to people about black people in the world and how they are pioneers and things like that. That eventually morphed into eNigeria. I call it eNigeria. eNigeria, because I thought then, okay, you know what, let's make Nigeria electronic and let's make it digital. But then the Nigerian government started a project called eNigeria. So I then changed the name to the nearest thing that came to my mind at the time, which was about, let's shift the paradigm. And I'm like, okay, paradigm is a good word. And what are we going to do? We're going to be doing some initiatives. Okay, so for paradigm initiative, it's called. But this was way back in 2001. So we were not registered. We were not even an organization. It was just a volunteer group of, I had a few friends of mine who would go to, we knew how to use computers.
You convinced them to join you?
I didn't even have to convince them. They were like-minded people. You know how your friends are like-minded people? I mean, what do I need to tell Titi Akinsomi or Deolu Ajayi or Corporation to convince them? They were already, in the spirit, so to speak. We'll spend a weekend to go to a village somewhere or your states, and we'll go and train people on how to use computers. We had a project called Afar, which is Bridge.
For free?
Yes, for free. Because it was too exciting for us that we had this knowledge and we had to share it. You know, when you've eaten and you have so much energy, you will run when there's sugar. So that was it for us. We honestly didn't think of the commercial side of things too much. We did. I mean, we made money. We converted yearbooks into year CDs for people on campus, and we made money from it. So it was a balance. And I think it was because there was a sense in me that, I'm getting all these opportunities from Nigeria, from this digital opportunity, let me give back. So sometime in 2002, I did a competition and became Nigeria's IT Youth Ambassador. It was not an official ambassador role. It was just the name given by the Executive Service School. But because I also got a UN fellowship at the same time. Many people then thought I was a real ambassador, because I remember I would get some countries and they welcome me as an ambassador. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a real ambassador. And I'm trying to tell them, and maybe they thought I was being humble, but it grew a life of its own. Because myself and my friends we now had support, official support from the company, the Executive Service School, led by Engineer Chijomacho. He gave us a bus and would give me money to take transportation to universities across Nigeria. And I did this for 2 years, going across Nigeria, training young people on how to use computers. Zara Baba in Kano, Enugu. I think we must have done at least 12 states, because I wrote about 12 states in my handover report. I handed over to someone called...
12 states, how many universities?
It must have been at least 25 universities, because I know in some states, in Lagos, for example, we did at least 3 or 4
we have
universities.
computer science departments in those universities?
We've always had computer science departments since the 70s. The question is, have we had impact from the graduates of those? And we have. In fact, one of them, Edward Obola, who I handed over to as IT Youth Ambassador, is the one who co-founded Cowrywise, one of those fintech companies now. And the interesting thing was that by 2002, like I said, someone met me at a presentation, introduced me to Junior Achievement. Semi wrote to me and was like, okay, come and visit. I came to visit, and I didn't know they were interviewing me for a job. So it was when I finished my exams that I got an email saying, following the series of interviews we had with you. And I'm like, okay, which interviews? But then it was an interview, and I really wanted to spend 1 year with them to do my youth service with them. But 1 year became 6 years, and after 6 years, I decided it was time to expand this vision beyond just the location in Butemeta where we're in Lagos for the Lagos Digital.
Is that how you entered Microsoft and the United Nations?
So Microsoft was the partner on the Lagos Digital Village project. So that was my first encounter with Microsoft. But then I got to do a few things with them, training with them much later. And for the United Nations, it was mostly in 2001 when I was invited for a meeting. I'd written some things about the future of the internet in Africa, and I was invited for a meeting, and then I went to that meeting. And I think this is a major lesson for everyone. In that meeting, I was a participant. I was not a speaker. I was supposed to attend, collect my per diem or allowance, and go back home. But I refused to do just that. I produced a newsletter every day. I listened to all the sessions, condensed them, produced a newsletter, and released the day 1, day 2, day 3. When I go back home, I sent them a report. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, I sent them a report. This is what we did. These are the recommendations.
They didn't tell you to do that.
They didn't ask me to do it. But guess what? That was the last time I had to ask them to invite me. Every time since then, it was so much that they even asked me to come and serve at the time. Don't forget, how old was I in 2000? And two, I was invited to come and chair, to be the vice chair for the African Technical Advisory Committee at the UN Economic Commission for Africa, because they saw it, that this guy is a dangerous person, he's too passionate, and they needed to use that passion. That led to the World Summit on Information Society and led to many other UN things. But that was why in 2007, I was like, you know what, I need to turn this thing into an institution. I can't just do volunteer things here and there, while also, and to be fair, I was beginning to feel like I was cheating on junior achievement, because I was invited for Paradigm Initiative, Nigeria, the nice Paradigm Initiative, and I was working full-time at junior achievement, and my bosses were wonderful, by the way, all women. And that was great. That introduced me to all these things of thinking that, some people can do some things and other people can do some things. I didn't have that training. I saw men and women doing stuff, and that's what I still believe till tomorrow. The fact that my bosses were great and allowed me, they would say things like, oh, Benga, it's okay, go. When you go, junior achievement, when you give people your cards, they will see junior achievement and it's good branding for us. But I realized it wasn't fair. I was spending 20% of the time, increasingly 40%, at some point almost 60% of my time doing my thing as Benga Sheson. And the junior achievement was getting less time. So I decided, it was time to go. So I resigned. And then started Paradigm Initiative Nigeria at the time, 2007, we started in Ajegunle. We greeted to Nigeria.
Which is Ajegunle?
Ajegunle in Lagos.
Apapa Ajegunle.
Apapa Ajegunle, the one and only Ajegunle, AJCT. That's where we started.
Why Ajegunle?
Because I'd been invited to Ajegunle for the training, and it was different. Other places, they invite me and ask questions like, oh, this computer, does it do the same thing like like a laptop? In Ajegunle, the questions were different.
Wow.
This thing you have taught us, how do I make money from it? My sister doesn't have money to go to school. How does she go to school? And I thought this was practical. These guys are not playing around. They are not interested in the black box. They want to use it and make impact. So I decided to go back to train 25 people for 4 weeks and make sure they move from not having ever taught the computer to learning how to use it to make money. And then that became 2 years later. I decided, okay, let's do it a bit more. Another 3 years, we just said, you know what, we set up, in 2010, we set up an office, our very first office, 39 Pilot Street, Ajegunle, which in fact is now occupied by one of our trainees.
Because I know those places.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned.
Ajegunle.
Ajegunle,
yes.
No. Okay. Let me ask this question before I move to the next about digital rights and advocacy and e-government. What was pushing you? What was moving you? That you couldn't just stay back, like something was just drawing you on the inside.
I'm very selfish. I like my own space. I like peace of mind. So for me, I realized that I was trying to create a future for myself, for my family, and for my kids, and for my wife, and my girlfriend at the time. But there were challenges. There were questions people were asking and I didn't have answers to. Questions like, why should anyone get arrested for creating something innovative that others don't understand? So I started looking at policy a lot more. And I realized that a lot of countries in Africa were fighting what they didn't understand. Political leaders saw the internet as a threat. Like, oh my God, these young people are gathering online against us. I mean, a few years ago, Twitter was shut down in Nigeria because a president felt insulted and said, oh, they were gathering on Twitter to come and remove video. I mean, that obviously shows his ignorance. But the reality is, I'm too selfish to have all these problems around me and not try to solve it. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what I can do. And I started doing some work. I started doing some writing. I wrote at the time, what was in 2013, I wrote what I called Internet Freedom Declaration for Nigeria.
Okay.
But it didn't stop there. And that morphed into a bill. Then we converted it into a Digital Rights and Freedom Bill.
What's the objective of that?
Objective is to make sure that as we train young people, as they get access to computers, as they get access to the internet, that the online environment is not one where they will be afraid of what they need to do. Yes, there are bad actors that need to be punished for cybercrime and things like that, but if a young person goes online and says, my government is not doing well, they should do better, that is not a crime, that is contribution to democracy, and they should not be punished for it. And that was the motivation behind that, to say, listen, let's do something to make sure that the online environment, we focus more on innovation and not on clampdowns.
Now, I want to know some of the challenges you encountered, because it looks like so we don't get the picture like you were just moving, you saw mountains, you just skip over them, you saw challenges, you just wipe them off, and you just move on. What were the challenges that you encountered? Did you ever feel like threw in the towel?
Oh yeah, I actually threw in the towel many times. It's not even like I felt like I did. So when I started Black Pioneers, at some point I realized I was about to fail, and then I just stopped it completely and then focused on my studies. But you know, the reality is that I am a product of challenges, in the sense that every challenge that I decided to tackle led me to what people call success. So for example, when there was a challenge of who is going to prove. So Nigeria had Kanu Nwankwo and then JJ Okocha. So there was that year around 1999, 2000, the lady who won the most beautiful girl in Nigeria, Albani Darego. They were all in the news. And somebody then said, wait a second, it's football and this. Why don't we have a young Nigerian who is also intellectually savvy and that does something digital, so that the world knows that we also have digital promises. That was why they created that competition for who was going to be IT ambassador. It was a big challenge for me. I had no idea if I could win it. I got in there, designed a website, I put it on it. In those times we had diskettes.
Yes.
So I went to buy a CD on Lagos Island. I put the design on a CD. I put the CD in its case. I printed a back cover for it, and I put a seal. Do not break this seal unless authorized, because I've seen Microsoft software, that's the way you do it. So I packaged it. So packaging is also important. So one of the things, one of my biggest challenges is Nigeria. Because you're doing something and someone says, okay, calm down, you're not going to solve all of Nigeria's problems. But the reality is that challenge also presents an opportunity for me, because every time that someone realizes that, oh, you did this in Ajegunle. Oh wow, yes. You can do it in Ajegunle, you can do it, almost anywhere else. And other challenges, including finances. At some point I didn't get money. So I had to go deep into myself, find my skills, and then use those skills to make money, demonstrate what I can do with the money that I put down by myself, and then ask other people, bring resources. Anyway, go, let's do this work together.
I see. Now, what advice do you have for the young Nigerians out there who feel like throwing in the towel many times? You said you did throw in the towel, but obviously went back to pick it up.
Oh yeah, I pick the towel every time. So my first advice is always go back to pick the towel. It's fine. If you are tired, take the day off. Just go and sleep. Relax. When your brain is calm, then come back, pick the towel again. And realize that many times, success is on point 9, we give up on point 7. Many times, when you work just a bit harder, meet the right set of people, get introduced in the right set of spaces, you will get closer to success. And what I say to people is that even if you don't achieve success, the way people define success, as long as you know you are learning, you're picking up new skills, maybe in worst case scenario, you write about a book about it one day, or you start teaching and you make money from it. But this is not just about money or resources. This is about defining, this is me right now, point A. This is point B, where I would like to be. What do I need to learn to move from A to B? Who are the people I need to meet as mentors, as peers, to get me from point A to B? What are the things I need to stop doing for me to get from point A to B? And in between A and B, when you feel like throwing in the towel, when you feel like giving up, remind yourself that the destination is point B, and that when you get to point B, there's still point C to go to. And of course, to be honest, every time you get to point B, you rest, you celebrate yourself, others may celebrate you or not, who cares? Then you go to point C. And that journey in itself is a big reward for any young person, because then you can peacefully sit anywhere and say, like the lizard that dropped, that yes, even if nobody else praises me, I have done what I want to do, and I'm not stopping.
Are you satisfied? 1. 2, are you satisfied with the level where you've gotten to, as long as career success is concerned? And if you are, what's the next thing for you?
My answer is always yes and no. Yes, because I look back and I'm like, oh wow, we've come far. But then I look ahead again and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to do. So for me, yes, I feel, obviously I feel very fulfilled. I love what I do what I love. So I'm lucky. But I also look ahead and I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot. Paradigm Initiative just finished drawing up our next 5-year plan, 2024 to 2028. And that's the next step for me. We've literally covered 28 countries and more across the continent. Now we've seen calls from areas in the global south, from Latin America, from Southeast Asia, asking to have a taste of what we have. And that's the next challenge for me, making Paradigm Initiative not just a Pan-African organization, but a global south organization.
I see. Thank you so much, Bianca. for your time, for joining us today and sharing your incredible story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Very much welcome. And that's an inspiring conversation with Gbenga Sheson. So we are all in good hands. Leaders at the end of affairs, and that's all for today's episode for Career Success on Achievement Channel. However, I'm going to want to get Mr. Gbenga Sheson's commitment to this. I want to say we didn't get much. As much as I feel if we let you go and not invite you back, we'll be losing a lot more. So please, you don't want to give that because of your time.
I'll give the commitment to say let's find a time as long as it's mutually convenient.
Yes, that will be a part 2 of our conversation, and we are going to name it part 2 conversation, Career Success with Gbenga Sheson. Until I see you again in another episode. It's Career Success. Have a great day.
Good day and welcome to Achievement News right on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first 100% motivational television. My name is Comfort Idongese Basi, your guide through the stories of triumph, innovation and positive impact shaping our world. Broadcasting live from our School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, Lagos, we bring you news that truly inspires. At Achievement News, we believe in celebrating human ingenuity, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of progress. We sift through the headlines to bring you the breakthroughs, the milestones, and the uplifting narratives that prove that possibilities are abound and true achievement is within reach for everyone. We start with positive economic news from home. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry (LCCI) has expressed optimism following the National Bureau of Statistics report confirming a modest drop in Nigeria's headline inflation rates. In May 2025, inflation eased to 22.97%, down from 23.71% in April. LCCI has hailed this as a positive, albeit modest new shift after several months of persistent increases, attributing it to its consistent monetary tightening by the Central Bank of Nigeria. This indicates that policy efforts are beginning to yield tangible results. Even small positive shifts can bring immense relief and hope. This reminds us to stay resilient and adaptable in our personal finances, always seeking ways to maximize value and minimize waste. We see possibilities. Adding to our economic good news, major global financial institutions are giving a thumbs up to Nigeria's economic trajectory. The World Bank recently issued a positive verdict projecting 3 years unbroken growth for Nigeria, with rates of 3.6% in 2025, 3.7% in 2026, and 3.8% in 2027. Furthermore, Fitch Ratings has upgraded Nigeria's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating from negative to stable. This endorsement signals increasing investor confidence directly linked to Nigeria's ongoing economic reforms, including exchange rate liberalization and fuel subsidy removal, which have also contributed to the stabilization of the naira. Global recognition of our economic resilience highlights the power of consistent, strategic efforts. Keep pushing for your own growth, no matter the headwinds. Your consistency builds your future. We see possibilities. From economic progress to a greener future, the global renewable energy sector is buzzing with exciting innovations for sustainable constructions. Recent breakthroughs include the development of compact, efficient residual wind turbines, widespread solar canopies designed to power electric vehicles, and even cutting-edge sand batteries for advanced energy storage. These innovations aim to revolutionize construction, making it more eco-friendly and significantly enhancing energy resilience worldwide. Innovation is the bridge to a sustainable future. Look for creative ways to integrate sustainable practices into your own life and work. Every small eco-conscious choice contributes to a greener world. We see possibilities. Further proving technology's power for good, a brilliant waste monitoring innovation has recently clinched the prestigious EUTech SDG Award. This groundbreaking project, developed by Adastra, utilizes lot chips and smart platforms to meticulously track plastic bottle recycling efficiency starting in the Czech Republic. By providing transparent real-time data, this technology is significantly improving waste disposal strategies and highlighting how digital solutions can solve pressing environmental challenges on a global scale. Every problem is an opportunity for innovation. Your creativity can transform challenges into solutions, creating a positive impact that cleans up our world, one smart idea at a time. We see possibilities.
Of eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Tune in again for more achievement news, your daily source of positivity. Visit us at www.achievementchannel.com and join the movement hashtag We See Possibilities. That's all the achievement news for today. Remember, every day brings new opportunities for growth, progress, and impact. Keep achieving, keep inspiring, and most importantly, keep believing in the power of possibilities. I'm Comfort Idongse Basi, wishing you a truly impactful day.
Welcome to another empowering episode of Inspire Her where we have healthy and meaningful conversations about women supporting women. We spotlight women who are breaking boundaries, defying expectations, and making their voices heard. I'm Tracy Dominic, and today we will be having courageous conversations, women who are challenging the status quo. And I cannot think of two more fitting guests to share their stories with us today. Joining us are two women who have consistently stepped out of their comfort zones to challenge societal norms and also create lasting impact. First, we have Pamela Egbo, a remarkable entrepreneur and founder of Anna and Hugh Limited. Pamela is also the former executive director of the O.B. Jackson Foundation, where she led various initiatives that broke new ground in philanthropy. And secondly, with us also is Atinuke Ojenima, a leadership development expert, human resource professional, and business consultant. Atinuke has dedicated her entire career to nurturing and grooming the next generation of African leaders, and her work speaks volume about breaking through barriers. Today, we'll be having that powerful discussion with these two courageous women. Okay, amazing ladies, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's actually lovely having you two here on Inspire Her. How are you doing?
Great, thank you for having me.
Thank you. How are you doing, Atinuke?
Good.
Good, right?
I mean, being alive.
Yes, yes.
The gift of breathing, of being alive. I mean, I feel good with that.
You know, in our Nigeria today, when you ask someone, how are you doing? Are you really ready to hear the answer to that question? Because
yes.
The economy have honestly pushed a lot of us Nigerians. Yeah. And how have you been coping? Let's just talk generally now as Nigerians. How have you been coping as women, especially in your family, and also trying to meet up with expectations? Let me start with you, Pamela.
To be honest, it's been quite difficult, just generally. I think for me, I feel very blessed, just as Atinuke said, to wake up every day and have a home to live in, a roof over my head. And so my basic day-to-day needs are taken care of. But I'm very cognizant of the fact that they're not people as lucky as I am. And seeing, I think it's a time in Nigeria where we have to be very sensitive to people who don't have what we have or are not in those positions, and see how we can help. Because take the petrol prices, for instance, just filling your car. My car has gone from 12,000 a week to almost 70,000 every week to fill it. I mean, it's not even sustainable at this point. So, but I find reasons to be grateful every day. And I'm very intentional right now about seeing ways I can help people who are not as fortunate, even if it's giving my driver food in the mornings to release that pressure, or just being very cognizant about helping people at this point.
What about you, Atinuke? What has been your journey through
you didn't have to even extend it to the situation in Nigeria when I said that, the gift of waking up every morning alone, it's something that one should be grateful for. Why? Because they say that when there is life, there is hope, right? And there's also this thing in terms of hope, that if God has not given up on us, as a country, then why should we as individuals give up on Nigeria? So that our waking up every morning, for me, I see it as a promise to say that, we have a role to play individually. And from there, I would take it up from what Pamela said about helping people. So now when I meet people and everyone, I just tell them, I say, see, the situation of this country, the situation that we found ourselves now, it's if we do not have the political power, right, or we're not leaders in government, right? There's so many expectations that we have as citizens from our government, that government should do this and that. So if we do not have such power or position to effect changes in our lives, the best changes or help that we could do for one another is to live in consideration, you know, and give support at our at the capacity that we can, and do what we should part time. So I mean, we have these people around us. Don't even go outside your compound. Maybe your gate man, your driver, your laundryman, you know, they have families. So that's your own Nigerian. And how are you helping those people? How are you, I mean, you know, governing your own home? So I think that is very essential with the situation of the country. And talking about the situation of the country, I think that we are on our own developmental journey. It's a journey, so there will be some times that it's going to be high, and there will be some times that it's going to be low, and there will be times that it's going to be even, you know, and whatsoever past glory that Nigeria had, I think that what we are doing now, we're going on a journey of progress. All right, so all the encouragement that we need as women, as families, as a people, I'm of the opinion that we should be there to support ourselves, you know, providing, encouraging, and inspiring everyone.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. What you said about phases, even as a country, we go through these phases. And this phase we actually,
I mean, you wanted to say as individuals, as individuals in our own personal lives, right? Fantastic.
Yeah, because
now
when you go
talk
to
of the life of a nation.
Because when you go to the market now and you just come back and you're like, what did you even buy
Right.
to exhaust all the money, right? And you're thinking to yourself, it's like it went from bad to worse to worse all the time. But just like you said, hope is what we all need. I think it's very important. I found that helping people actually give them hope. It gives them hope to keep going and actually look forward to what lies ahead. Okay, so let's go in depth into the conversation now. Atinuke, can you take us through your journey as a human resource professional and a leadership expert? You've been in the field for decades, more than 1-2 decades now. So what has inspired you through this journey? And what has helped you challenge the status quo?
Okay, so I think I can tell my story as a girl child, right? As a female, as a woman, and then talking about inspiration to answer that question. I think I can take that story away in my entire life's journey, and that's the story of my father. I have a father, because he's still alive. I have a father who would tell me that, okay, I want you to grow up to be a notable woman. I don't want you to be a kind of woman that a man would beat his chest to say, if not for me. He says these things in Yoruba. To say, if not for me, that, you know, like I made you and all of that. And very early in life, my dad introduced, I heard from him, you know, the concept of self-esteem. So kind of, I was a confident young girl, and it made me to find self early in life, and when you find self, that's the truth. When you find self, you get to have some clarity and direction as to where you want to be, what you want to do, and, you know, everything stems from knowing who you are. That's when you find self. So it wasn't so difficult for me to find myself, you know, because I had the parental support. And talking about Inspire, I think we should talk a little, because women, culturally, women are meant to be, you know, the ones putting the family together, right? So, but I think that such things should start from such inspiration should start from the family, you know. How are we able to support our children to ensure that they are confident in who they are, so that they can navigate their life more purposefully and more decisively, right? So that's up to me, purposefully and decisively. So my journey, oh gosh, let's not go there for today, but I would just say that finding self helped me a lot in my journey. I didn't have clarity as to what it was, but I had an idea of who I wanted to be. And maybe in the course of the conversation, I'll be bringing it in here and there.
Yes, self-awareness, parental guide, very important. Do you relate to that, Pamela? What has been your own inspiration through your journey as a philanthropy and also your journey as a business leadership expert?
I think for me, I think I'm still on that journey. I don't think that I've arrived. I think that I'm a big believer that we have seasons in life, and in my own journey, I'm in a different season now, but I think along the way, what's helped me is to always have an open mind to learn and understand that in your journey, as in whatever you're trying to do, a business person or just working a regular 9 to 5, you will have ebbs and flows. So you will have lows, you will have highs. It won't be very easy. Sometimes it might be easier. And I think what has shaped me particularly, I lived abroad for many years, lived in England for over 35 years, and I just got back 3 years ago. And what's helped me is just knowing that those experiences living abroad shaped who I was. Particularly, I was, for the most part, learning along the way with my business as a single mother, because I went through a divorce. And so that shaped my path, really. I think that if that didn't happen, I might be on a different journey. But that's the journey I found myself, and I had to pivot and kind of navigate my way through it and say, okay, this is where I find my life right now. How do I make it better in this particular season that I find myself? So it's been an interesting journey, but I am still learning and still growing through it.
It's actually quite an interesting and unique one. So what would you say is that one strategy that you had to take to move you forward in that journey?
Yeah, so I think at the time, living in England, like I said, I found myself suddenly a single mother. My daughter was 18 months at the time, and I wanted to be that mother that was there for my child. I did not want to be a mother that would leave her in, obviously living in England, you have those luxuries of, I could leave her at a childcare or a nursery, but I didn't want to be that mother who I only saw my daughter early in the morning, drop her off, pick her up. So I had to pivot. I have to think, how can I live and earn an income without having to do a 9 to 5 job? And so that started my journey of entrepreneurship, where I was able to start a skincare company called Hannah and Hugh. In fact, I started another company before that called Mums with Tots. So I had to think outside the box, and that propelled me in my journey to look at ways I could make an income and still be there for my daughter.
Amazing, that's quite amazing. And I would say, if we want to explore that, I think I have amazing women who are also single mom, and they are doing amazingly well, especially in their career, in their business. It's like when you are that, it's just like a superpower. So it's like a superpower to me, that something actually just pushes you to want to do more, want to achieve more in your career and in your businesses, which you already established, right? Yeah, okay, so we'll go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll continue this inspiring conversation.
So to do well in public speaking, you must see it as a relationship between yourself and your audience.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power. Speak with power.
Welcome back to Inspire Her, where we have interesting and amazing conversations about women supporting women and women uplifting women. And I have here in the studio, of course, two amazing women who are breaking barriers and shattering glasses. Just before we went on the break, Pamela, you were talking about how being a single mom have actually empowered you and not actually broken you down in any way. And that, I must say, is incredible. Incredible. So, Atinuke, in your field as a leadership expert, what are some of the challenges you faced trying to get women to actually be leaders, especially in the workplace?
Okay, so observations, of course, and these are observations that you will all relate with, is I think that quite a number of women, you know, they are yet to, I mean, women are yet to really tap or discover their confidence. Yes. A lot of women I see that, you know, they don't want to take on the role of leadership because they feel that they are not good enough, or maybe they just feel that they can't. All right. And so it's a field where the leadership development, like what I'm doing, it's a field where we don't really have quite a number of people. And if you look at it, the statistics are there too, you know, we have very few women, but that is quite kind of changing now. If you check, I think the last 2 years now, last 1 or 2 years, you see that a lot of women are emerging to be the CEOs, to be on board and all of that, which is quite good news. And it means that something is actually changing. Now women are believing more in themselves. Even if you look at the political setting, you see that we have very few women. In fact, did I say few? Countable women that are taking on that political ambition to want to make a change at the governmental stage. So why this is the question for me, and the question maybe following it will be, what can we do about it? Right, which I think that doing something about this is for the purpose of this show, to inspire other women to ensure that they find their geniuses and and you know they excel in it. So self-discovery for women is not just about our responsibilities as wives or as mothers. So there are more things that women can do. There are more things that women can be. There are more things that women can have, you know, that we can only get those things done. We can only acquire those things when women have a very high sense of awareness about who they are and the kind of skills, in fact, knowledge that they have. But do I blame, the question is, do I blame women for not discovering themselves? Maybe I'm just going to drop it there. And that's because of the way the societal expectations of who a girl child is, of who a female is, societal, or should I say cultural, you know, cultural boxing of a woman. I grew up to say that no matter how well read you are going to end up in the kitchen. Who said so?
No, I absolutely agree with you. Confidence
so
and self-awareness.
The confidence comes in from you, first of all, identifying that there's something, I can be more, I can do more, I can have more. All right, I can be everything, you know, that I want to be. I can be a wife, I can be a mom, I can be a business person, I can, you know. So and we're not just limited to just one thing, but the ability is actually where the challenge is, and is regardless of gender. The challenge is in how do we become more productive, even in the midst of many other things that we do. Do you see now? How do I manage myself such that no ball, you know, when you're juggling the balls, no balls of, I mean, one of these balls of my life, no balls falls. So I think that is where the challenge should be, and not that women should just stay to be just moms, you know, and I mean, I think there is more that we can be, and that more is found in women knowing who they are, what they've got, you know, building their self-confidence, believing in themselves, you know, and then just go out and do it. They'll be amazed.
Yeah. So, Pamela, what do you think? You think what she said is what women need to push forward?
Yeah, I totally agree with her. I would go a step further and say that one of the things I think that hold women back in our society is that we are not supporting of one another. We live in a very competitive space most of the time. I belong to a few groups of women who we're incredibly supportive of one another, belong to networking groups where we can feed each other ideas. And I think we need to get over that barrier. I think that for a woman, the biggest thing that I've learned in business, or even in growing my own character to be a better person, is you need to avoid the comparison trap. When you compare yourself to someone else, then you start getting insecure, you can get envious, and that stops you. Actually, that limits you from growing. So in terms of women becoming more, we actually need other women. We actually need to not live in silos and support one another. When a woman becomes a business CEO, for instance, like she alluded to, I'm very proud that the banking industry has a lot of women at the top, very top. There are upcoming women in the oil industry doing that as well. However, we're still not even scratching the surface. 64% of women in this country are skilled in the workforce, but only 30% are in any form of senior corporate role. So there's still a way to go. So I think as a woman, when you find yourself in those positions of power, you need to bring other women along with you. You need to make sure that you make a dent in the practices of your workplace to make sure that there is gender inclusivity and diversity in that workplace. And you need to be confident enough to say, I can still be a top woman and invite other women to sit at the same table with me and not to be competitive. I think that is really important.
Yes, that is important. Just while you were speaking, I just thought to myself, at this phase, sometimes I just sit to think, it's about intentionality.
Absolutely.
When I see an opportunity that a friend or a colleague or even a family member would like or would take advantage of, I'm just reach this person, contact this person.
That's
it
right.
also has a lot to do with intentionality and just, like you said, taking away comparison and all the envy and jealousy that comes with the stereotype of girls and women do not like themselves.
That's right.
You know, I think that solutions will be more sustained when we find the root causes. And I think that I don't want us to end the show without mentioning that, because sometimes as she was talking, and it just occurred to me, but really, how did that become? How did that become that women don't support women? Why that? Why that? So could it be from a cultural thing? Culturally in the early times, women were just groomed for marriage alone.
Yes.
So like almost all through your girl child is do this, know how to cook, know how to sit, know how to dress, and when the time is up, maybe when you are 18, those days they married early. So when you are 18, so they tell you, okay, it's time to go to your husband's house or something. But then I think that could it be out of a cultural setting where women were made to be competitive with other women? There's some cultures that ladies will come, they will all stand, maybe they all dance, they'll be all well dressed together to get a husband. So there's this, that's my competitor. No, she shouldn't get it. What does she have that I don't have? What can she do that I cannot do? Why? So I think that perhaps that is where it stems from. But when we see ourselves now from a place of she's beautiful, so am I, all right? She's got things that I don't have, and I have got things that she also doesn't have. There are things that I know that she doesn't know. There are things that I know, there are things that she knows that I don't know. So then there are no reasons, no basis for competition. Then that is when the collaboration, coming together to say, okay, let's support one another. When we realize that, we are made to hold each other and complement in all our inadequacies.
Historically speaking, I think, yes, societal norms actually contributed to this whole hate between women and all of that. But that's why we're having this conversation to uplift women and empower women.
That's right.
You used to be an executive director for Obi Jackson Foundation. And what are some of the opportunities you created for women?
Oh yeah, so the Obi Jackson Foundation, a wonderful foundation which I've just stepped out of, we focus on education, empowerment, and healthcare access in rural communities, particularly in Anambra State. So we had an opportunity to change the narrative for people in the rural communities, women and girls, where their narrative would have ended up being, I'm a petty trader, or I get married early. So we made sure that we were intentional about building capacity in women and children, giving scholarships to girls in particular, as well as running programs where we could give microcredit to women to start their own businesses, and we were able to impact over 500 women and girls. So I think just being intentional about changing that narrative for them was really important, and so it was great to be successful at that.
That's beautiful. I mean, we need more of that in our societies today. I would really love to continue this conversation, but we're rounding up now. So what would you say has kept you going, Pamela, all of these years in your career and in your personal life?
I think, like I alluded, you cannot do it in silo. You have to have a group of women that you share similar values, that will help you, that you can go and be yourself with when it's difficult, you cry to, you laugh with, and bring each other up. So because at the end of the day, it's not really just about running a successful business, it's really about who you are as a person. And you know, the famous saying is, you know, people will always remember how you made them feel. And so having a group of women supporting other women, for me, has what's kept me going.
I think it's very important. Like myself, I have like 2 women who I go to. It's we reciprocate this. Tell them your problem. These are people you trust, and people that are not going to judge you and accept you, encourage you when you're going through phases. And you discover that when you do that, you feel better.
Absolutely.
It works like magic, and I totally think that more women should have women in their cycle who are willing and able to accommodate all their excesses and not judge them and encourage them. So lastly, what would you advise women to do, especially in terms of breaking societal norms?
I think, just as she alluded to, be confident, don't be afraid to do something you've never done before. And I think that's how you shatter glass ceilings and not worry about what the other person's gonna think. If you find yourself in a space, just go for it. That's what I would say.
Just go for it.
Yes.
Asunike, what has kept you going all these years? Because I know being an entrepreneur, it's not easy. In the leadership phase, it's not easy to manage people, especially. So what has kept you going all of these years?
Okay, so I'll say this in 2 things, and that's what has been keeping me going, and I won't lie to you, is who am I, right? What do I want to achieve, all right? So those 2 things guide me a lot. So like knowing who I am. So I'm your typical girl that looks herself into the mirror and sack myself up. All right. So then the next thing, I think it actually preps me up to what do I want. So I feel that we should be clear always on what we want. All right, so what do I want? And I ask myself the next question, why do I want that thing? And what are the obstacles, you know? So those things prep me up. It's fun enough. It's not just an interview question. This question is a question that everybody asks me all the time. That's okay. You've been very consistent on this leadership development thing. I mean, what's been, you know, sustaining you? For me, it's the sense of purpose.
Sense of purpose.
So whether, you know, in good times, in bad times, you know, sense of purpose keeps me on track.
Yeah.
And I think that it's not an easy place to be. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's because of what I do, because leadership development, and I'm also into nation building thing and stuff like that. Sometimes it could be a lone journey, but like she said, which she reminded me. In fact, the way she was talking, I'm like, okay, I need to go and look for a women, you know, support group where it could be a kind of support system where you're not being judged and all of that. But really, it could be a lonely place. But then my head is always on my shoulder when I remember who I want to be, you know, and who I am and what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah, who you want to be, why you're here.
Why I'm
sense
here.
of purpose.
Sense
I'm
of
always
purpose.
big on purpose.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what you're doing here, then it's easy to lose hope.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just before we round up, what would be your advice to women who are not confident enough, who do not know themselves enough to push themselves out there and break barriers? What would be your advice?
Oh my gosh, this is emotional kind of for me,
Right.
because I just want to say that there is more to you, really, as in literally. It is not motivation. There is more to you, and find those things in you. Know that everyone has got their strengths and their weaknesses. Nothing do you. Okay, so leverage on your own strength, and be the best that you can be.
Exactly.
Absolutely beautiful. I really wish I could continue this conversation, but we could do this again next time. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Pamela,
having us.
Thank you.
Loaded conversation, but time
Loaded
wouldn't let us
conversation.
exhaust everything.
Sure.
Thank you. I enjoyed myself here too.
All right, to our viewers, I hope today's episode has sparked something in you, whether it's a renewed sense of courage or the belief that you too can challenge societal expectations and make your mark. Remember, every step you take to break through barriers is a step toward paving the way for others. Take this advice from Margaret Thatcher, where she said, "Don't follow the crowd, let the crowd follow you." I'm Tracy Dominic. Thank you for joining us on Inspire Her. Until next time, stay bold, stay courageous, and continue to inspire.
People's saying holds a powerful truth. Just as farmers seize the sunny days to harvest hay for the future, we too must seize opportunities when they present themselves. So, here are 3 key insights to help you maximize the inspiration embedded within the depths of this age-old wisdom. First is about seizing opportunities. Opportunities often come fleetingly, much like the sun breaking through the clouds. It's not enough to recognize them, we must act swiftly and decisively. Whether it is with starting a new business, or pursuing a passion, or seizing a career opportunity, the time to act is now. Entrepreneurs or leaders who saw a gap in the market and acted swiftly. They didn't just wait for perfect conditions. If anything at all, they created their own opportunities by simply making hay while the sun was shining. The second insight is about preparation and readiness. We must understand that making hay while the sun shines isn't just about seizing opportunities. It is also about preparations. Farmers prepare well in advance. How? By planting, nurturing, and even harvesting when the time is right. Similarly, we must prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, skillfully, if we are ever to make the most of every opportunity that comes our way. Preparation breeds readiness. When you're prepared, you're confident and capable of taking action when the opportunity arises. It's always about aligning your skills, your knowledge, your mindset, your attitude to maximize your chances of This is Mr. Motivator signing off from Timeless Capsule right here on the Achievement.
Tired of constant negativity? The endless stream of bad news? The setbacks? The disappointments? The discouragement? What if there was a different way? A way to wake up every morning not to the noise of the world, but to a voice of hope? Welcome to the Achievement Channel. Imagine starting your day with inspiration, with motivation, with encouragement. What if every morning you could tune in to words that uplift you, words that guide you to discover your potential? Nigeria, welcome to a new world. A world of possibilities, of positivity, of hope-filled living. A world where your dreams are not just dreams, but plans in motion. Where your goals are not just ideas, but action being taken. Every morning, wake up to Achievers Morning with Mr. Motivator, your daily dose of energy and inspiration. Dive into Achievers Book Club, where you'll uncover the wisdom of the world's greatest minds. Get the tips and strategies you need to navigate life's challenges on doctor's orders. Join Mighty Moms as we celebrate the success of women leading their families. careers and communities with strength and grace. Explore the heart of eloquence with Eloquence Unleashed. For the hustlers, Hustle and Flow is your guide to navigating the grind and making it to the top. Achieve financial success with Achievers Money and witness the celebration of greatness on accolades. Or seeking timeless wisdom in timeless capsules. There is something for everyone. Tune in to Inspire Her to see women inspiring women or achievement where men elevate their game on their quest for better. Every show is designed to bring you a new world of performance, success, revival, and reinvigoration. This is not just television. It's your guide to becoming the best version of yourself. Welcome to Nigeria's first 100% motivational television. Welcome to the Achievement Channel, where every day is a new opportunity to achieve.
A mother is your first friend, your best friend, and your forever friend. And right here on the show that celebrates the incredible journey of motherhood, I am your friend and host, Sarah Roberts. Welcome to another inspiring episode of Mighty Moms on Achievement Channel. On the show, we share encouraging stories, valuable tips, and heartfelt moments of women who have been through the thick and thin of motherhood. In every corner of the world, there are mothers quietly working behind the scenes, making sacrifices for their children. These sacrifices often go unnoticed. Late nights, emotional support, and putting their own dreams on hold so that their children can pursue theirs. In this episode of Mighty Moms, we'll be talking about the silent strength, unspoken sacrifices mothers make for their children. She is the CEO of Healthy Living Services Nigeria Limited, a vibrant health growth mindset and integrative lifestyle company, a member of the board of directors of FIMAC Group of local companies, FIMAC Marine and Oil Services Nigeria Limited, including Eco Building System Nigeria Limited. Very passionate about social impact and living a value-driven life, she's also the mother of 5 children and grandmother to 13 beautiful grandchildren. We have in our studios the phenomenal woman and mighty mom, Dr. Ifeyinwa Nwakwesi. Dr. Ifeyinwa Nwakwesi, once again I welcome you to this program.
Thank you.
Now, as a mother of 5 and a grandmother of 13 grandchildren, what are some of the biggest challenges you've had to make as a mother over the years, and how has this impacted on your children now?
Thank you so much, Sarah, for that amazing question. I'm going to start from the beginning. Parenting. I had great parents, late Sir FGN and Monica Okoye. They prepared us, most of our siblings, myself, with praying habits and knowing how to do chores in the house. So I grew up with some requisites for being a good mother. And of course, my mom, even though she married a rich man, she was very, very determined. She did a lot of business. She baked cake at a time. She sold, she made clothes. She was not a dormant woman in the house. So and my father also started business with little money and then turned it into a big conglomerate. So I came out to be a wife, prepared to be an impactful wife right from the beginning. And I'll tell you a bit of my story. I got married while in the medical school. I had my first child in the medical school. I had my second child soon after medical school. So I became a wife, mother, professional woman. My husband was a civil servant at that time. You know how much civil servants are paid. I had to now do some business to support him in raising in the support of the family needs. And so I became also a businesswoman. Then I made a mistake. I was playing my role, being a good wife, good mother, professional woman, and business, and I was careless about my health. So my health began to deteriorate. So when you talk about challenge, I was playing all those roles, and people will see me in the society and say, oh, if you want to see, you look amazing, you look beautiful. I was dealing with depression because I was careless about my health. I was dealing with depression, panic attacks, anxiety, severe indigestion, and of course, it began to affect my performance. And my kids couldn't understand what was happening to mommy. I got a bit more irritable. I used to react easily to things. And of course, that was a challenge for me. Because even though I was playing my role, I was no longer in a place to give my best. And it began to impact my life and of course some of the lives of the children. But what I've done is to find out about this lifestyle that I teach. You know my lifestyle. I teach growth mindset and integrative lifestyle, which is a vehicle to work on yourself so that as you're playing your roles, you're balancing all the areas so that none of it suffers. And so that challenge actually is my stepping stone to the woman I've become today. You know, I'm over 70, rocking, doing my roles, and I'm very, very passionate wife and mother. One of the things, again, I've done in my family is to try and build a loving and solid family. I am the conversationalist. Maybe in my family, if I'm not there, maybe many people may not even be saying hi to each other. But I am the bedrock of communication in the family. My husband is not so much of a conversationalist, but he loves conversation. So my family is built in love. We're built in God-centeredness because our family is a praying family. And I've also taken my kids to America to learn about personal development, teaching them that they have to take responsibility for their lives. And so I'll stop there at the moment. I have a lot to say.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now you have answered, you've gone into the second question, but I'll still raise it. As a mother, it is often said that mothers' sacrifices or challenges go unnoticed. So I want you to tell us, have you ever felt a sense of, loss or regret during the course of dealing with all these things that you have said?
Okay, that's an interesting question, Sarah. I am a relationship person. I am relationship based. My life is about reaching out to my children, showing love to my husband, showing love to my siblings. And so there was a time I used to feel so bad that many of my children, maybe even their wives, may not even call me to just check on this old woman. And it used to put me in a sort of a negative energy state. But today, I have told myself, God is your anchor. God is your essence. I will focus on building my life and being happy. My happiness is no longer dependent on whether my husband gives me a kiss or not, or whether a son or daughter calls me. That is the woman I have built. But of course, I'm also encouraging the children to relate to each other. And we do have moments of family togetherness, and those are some of my best moments. When we spend family shaking body now, you know me. Having a generally good time, family togetherness, and then of course my husband loves conversations, and we listen to his words of advice. But basically, that was my main problem. If people didn't care about me, I would start worrying. But these days, I am no longer focused like that. If you don't care about me, I will call you till you tire.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now that you have 13 grandchildren.
Yes.
And I know that you are surrounded by their mothers, some daughters-in-law, some daughters. Can you tell us the difference between your own time and their time now in motherhood?
Oh, well, the way we were brought up to be patient. We were brought up to not to expect our husbands to generally be the sole provider. We were brought up to come in and add value to our marriages. The young girls of these days may not actually be wired like that. They sometimes expect the man to be the sole provider. But again, they are they are so protective of their kids. Some of them may not even want grandmother to take them and go out. You know, they're always like wanting to always be there. They just don't think that grandmothers may have the wherewithal to actually manage their kids. But we old people, when I talk, they say, you're old school, gay away, that we take a lot of rubbish from our men. But I keep telling them, our method is working. Many of us are still in our marriages, and look at the rate of relationship and marriage breakdown in society today. But of course, it is not for us to superimpose ourselves on the young ones. We need to keep teaching them with love. We need to keep being accommodating. And of course, keep a relationship. Some of them may not even ask about you for a long time, but have a perspective that they are learning, and keep teaching, and everything will work out well. Thank you so much.
In 3 words, ma, how would you describe your success?
Oh, my success is actually
your success story as a mother, as a career woman.
My success story as a mother is all attributable to God, because you know, God is my essence. He's my anchor. He's my roots. If I actually wake up in the morning and I don't speak to him, I totally become paralyzed. So, but secondly, I had great parenting. Then I married a man that is the gift of God to me, Dr. Maduka Nwakwesi. He's actually a very peaceful person. So he's an encourager, he's an inspirer. He noticed my strengths and supported me to be the woman. Of course, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I used to be director of Guarantee Trust Bank. I was one of the few women that built a cruise supply vessel, which our children are running today. And that business is still feeding our family. But all of it was a sort of support from my husband, who believed in me. And of course, I'm also a very determined, resilient person. And Sarah, I read a lot. After my prayers, I speak to myself. There's no day that goes I don't speak positive affirmations. I read a lot, feeding my brain with positive information. I don't know whether you know, I've just released my books. We're going to talk about that. Thank you so much.
Wow, beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Talking to you this morning, Dr. Ifeanyi Nwakwesi, from our conversation, you have clearly told us that, or shown us that, motherhood, the sacrifices of a motherhood, or motherhood generally, is not just the challenges or sacrifices, but it includes love,
yes,
growth, and the reward. You've mentioned a lot of rewards that has come, you know, with your sacrifices. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned. Motherhood is a transformative journey that shapes our children and us. It's filled with joy, challenges, and profound growth. Today, we honor the unsung heroes, our mothers, whose love and dedication lay the foundation for our achievements. Motherhood teaches resilience, the strength to wake up each day with purpose, despite sleepless nights. This resilience empowers us to overcome obstacles and reach our goals. It fosters creativity and problem solving. From soothing a crying baby to managing a household, mothers develop invaluable skills that drive success in ever-changing environments. Today, we celebrate every mother who has doubted herself yet continue to push forward. Your love, sacrifices, and commitment are the true markers of success. You are the heartbeat of your family, and your influence reaches far beyond your home. Today, to all the mothers watching, remember this: your journey, filled with love and perseverance, is the foundation of all-round achievements. You are raising the next generation of dreamers, leaders, and innovators. Your role is powerful. We've discussed deeply about the many sacrifices mothers make for their family and the joy of seeing the rewards come to life. There's absolutely nothing impossible with the strength a mother and the role she plays in her family. We stated earlier that our guest, Dr. Ifeyinwa Nwakwesi, is also an expert of healthy living. Dr. Ifeyinwa Nwakwesi, the world knows that you are a health expert. Now, I want you to give us a practical tip or tips on how a mother can juggle between career, motherhood, and also prioritize herself being, her health and her self-being.
Thank you very, very much, Sarah. That's a very profound question. The thing about life is to be grateful to God for your strengths, then have the humility to identify your weaknesses, your weak areas. You know, the body is spirit, mind, body, your relationships, your financial status, ego, owo, kudi. Are you able to meet your needs? Do you know your purpose and do you live your purpose? These are all the areas that make somebody fulfilled and happy. Many women are so focused on taking care of children, taking care of their husbands or their male partners, because not everybody is married. And so they forget that they themselves need a lot of self-care. If you ignore your self-care and you start getting sick, you will not have the health and energy to keep doing your chores, and it becomes a problem. So I tell women, please, there's something I'd like to tell women today. Your marriage or your relationship is not your identity. Neither is it your purpose. Any man that is in your life is supposed to be a contributor for your happiness. He shouldn't determine your happiness, because a lot of women go into depression and moody swings when especially their relationships have problems, and that is the beginning of illness. We have forgotten that the body, somebody's spiritual being, mental and emotional being, relationship are all influencing the health. Health is not just about prescriptive drugs. Neither is it about nutritional supplements. People just take them and think, perchance. And I'm telling women, stay out of conflicts. Conflict situation is not so good for your health. So what's my advice? Please, women, learn to read, learn to watch videos, learn to improve your knowledge, especially in your area of weakness. Then don't just have a quick fix, a headache, pop a pill, knee pain, which is very common, pop a pill. Look for something like this growth mindset and integrative lifestyle, which can teach you how to consistently and continuously work on improving that area. I was careless about my health. You know, I almost literally I actually had a collapse one day in my office. I did. This kind of thing that happened to Onyeka had happened to me. But God gave me a chance to recover, and that is why I'm so passionate about people preventing chronic disease and achieving vibrant health. In this sort of thing, I can't give you all the tips, but basically, there are strategies. Are you ready to commit? And while you're taking care of others, please take care of yourself first.
We've had a wonderful conversation with Dr. Ifeyinwa Nwakwesi, and believe me, I know you will agree that it has been a moment of truth for each and every one of us. Dr. Ifeyinwa Nwakwesi.
Yes, Sarah.
I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you.
Thank you.
We need your final advice. What is your advice to mothers out there?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to appreciate all mothers. Motherhood is not easy. It comes with a lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges, but a mother must stay focused, determined, resilient, and strong. I want to tell women, your marriage or your friendship to a male partner is not your identity. Neither is it your purpose. They should be able to contribute and be of value to you. Do not die in the process of wanting to be a Mrs. So what I'm telling women, your happiness is primarily dependent on you. It's from your inner being. Years ago, when I used to walk around looking great in the face, internally I was literally like dying from depression. So I'm telling women, as you are building your external face, you look beautiful, you wear beautiful clothes. Can we also work on our inner beings, so that when we step out with glory, we step out with energy, we step out with positivity, and we can all become assets. By the way, there's a message for women. I don't like the marginalization mindset, but we know in the society certain women are being marginalized. What are we doing? That's why in Women Aligned for Growth, we're coming up very quickly with a mega collaboration of women that can come together to put funds together to improve our social impact. Nigerians shouldn't be hungry. Nigerians shouldn't be homeless. And I'm also calling on our leadership. Please, Nigerians are suffering. Can we improve the quality of our citizenship and improve the quality of our leadership? Mothers, we hold the ace. Thank you very much.
Before my coming here, I used to have that fright, in me, and a butterfly kind of feeling. But with the exposure to necessary skills to speaking in the public and speaking well, I've been educated, I've been encouraged, and right now I want to say that the confidence is better. I can speak confidently more now than what it used to be.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Mighty Mom. I hope you enjoyed the show and found inspiration in the stories and advice we've shared today. In the words of Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. I am Sarah Rabbit. See you next week.
Hello and welcome to Achieve Men, your inspirational program right here on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's #1 100% motivational television station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio right here in Ikoyi, Lagos. The program dedicated to empowering men to lead purposeful lives, succeed in their careers and uplift their communities. I'm your host, Martins Oloye, and today we have two incredibly accomplished guests who exemplify what it means to lead with purpose and make a lasting impact. First, we have ESV Jombul Osarume Amayebo, a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, a passionate mentor, philanthropist, and the CEO of Jombul Amayebo and Co., with decades of leadership in estate management and professional development. Joining him is Mr. Chris Ogbaisi, an experienced finance professional who served at the director level in the insurance sector, a motivational speaker and a dynamic entrepreneur, active in finance and agriculture and advisory service. Today's topic is leading with purpose, building a career that impacts lives. So sit back as we explore how these men have not only built successful careers, but also positively impacted others along the way. Thank you once again. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you.
ESV Jumbu Amayebo MNI and Mr. Chris Ogbaisi.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much for being with us once again. I'll start with you, sir. I would like to address you as ESV Jumbu. Is that fine?
Yes, very good.
MNI. So what's MNI? Let's start from
Member National Institute.
Member National Institute.
You achieve that after spending minimum of 10 months at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies School.
NIPS School.
NIPS
I've been there.
Think tank.
That's where I met my wife.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure you know what it takes to have MNI there.
So a lot of people there, Yaradua, Obasanjo, El Rufai, so I understand.
Thank you.
So that's why I asked again, MNI.
Thank you.
So I know it's a very big feather to your heart.
Thank you.
So,
Sir.
what first drew you into the field of real estate and estate management?
First of all, I entered by coincidence. It was not my first choice. However, immediately I got to the school, Yaba College of Technology, and I saw potentials right from the beginning. I knew I was, destined by God to read this profession. So I would say that immediately after looking at those potentials, I know that for me to achieve something, for me to become somebody here, I have to be very passionate about the school, the study, the profession. So that was how everything began.
That's inspiring. That's inspiring. Mr. Chris, taking a cue from the passion that you just mentioned, I would like to know, how did you transition? What was the moment? What made you transition from insurance to structured finance and what you're doing right now, entrepreneurship? Because I've read your bio, it's heavy. So let me just leave it like that. So what made you transition from insurance and go deep into this unknown world of many parts?
I mean, in the insurance industry too, before I left, I was the MD of the insurance sector. That's the company, Spring Life. So I knew a little bit about structured finance then, when companies taking over through merger and acquisition. So when I left now, I started understanding certain things wrong in Nigerian economy. One-man business. It starts and die when the owner died. So when I noticed this, I started seeing a lot of businesses there that has a lot of potentials. And the NGS Grow Board also promoted that, okay, fine, let's start having young companies coming on board so that investors can, like we were talking recently, we have a lot of money in the circulation. A lot of money. But the question there is, where is the structured system? If you ask any entrepreneur today, where is your financial statement, they don't have it. The fee is not necessary. I'm okay, I'm managing my money. So those are the things I noticed, that lack of funding. But they have ideas. But lack of funding. But funds are there, but there is no structured system to attract the funds.
Beautiful.
So when there are no structured system to attract the funds, what do people like us do? We come in, provide solution. And so that I started then, when Spring Life could not, because the Spring Life issue then was the CBN directive said divest all subsidiaries. That was the Enterprise Bank, that was Heritage Bank. But we tried then. Let's get in invest. Don't kill business. Killing business simply means that you are creating unemployment. And when you keep creating unemployment, what happens to us? You understand? Government will keep putting it as a problem. So every government that will come in, you keep putting it there that you have a problem. No. You need to solve that problem, and the only way you can solve the problem is to go back to the informal sector. Those are the sector that contributes 62% to the GDP of this country. I keep saying it. And when they do that, and they are not properly structured in terms of equity and debt. How do we balance it? Where is the bank that want to finance them today? They'll call them startup businesses.
And no one is ready to...
And nobody is ready to take risk, to put money. So what do we do? So that's when people like us come in. We pick some businesses. We try to restructure it. This should be on our funds. Let this be for the area of debt. Let us look at your portfolio, the nature of your business. When are you expected to get returns on this? So if this deployment get returns on this, you need to go for more of debt.
So catch out. That's some form of structured mentoring. And I'll draw a comparison from that, and I'm coming to you, ESV, sir. You've had over 50 probationers. You've been mentoring people. I read your bio also. You are the right fit for this program. You are together. You fit each other. And I would like to ask, what are the guiding principles, the core values that has kept you going, that you knew that you needed to give? Simply put, all along, there was something that would take you from the first person to over 50 probationers. So what are the values? What are the core principles that has helped you to teach them? And what are the things you do mentoring them?
First of all, I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I knew what I went through in school. And from that experience, I told God that if I make it in this profession, I will have to go back to school. In my profession, people know that John Bull constituency students, upcoming surveyors. At the last conference, I was not supposed to be there, but they gathered.